And I think we're live. Cool. What's up? How we all doing? I'll check just to make sure. I'm a little paranoid, but I'm pretty confident. Hopefully, you're all doing very well. If you're watching on the replay, thanks for doing that. I really appreciate that if you do watch these on the replay, because I know a lot of people do. I'm not really sure what the best time possible is to actually stream, and I don't really, I'm not going to say I don't care, but I don't have a better alternative. So if there's a better time, let me know. But this is what I'm doing for now. A lot of things I want to cover. I feel like it's the story of my life. I want to try to keep it relatively, relatively concise-ish, but there's just too much shit. So it's a good problem to have because I'm never going to run out of stuff to talk about. So let's just go over here and we'll kind of talk about like a bunch of shit that's going on here. And yeah, the first thing I want to say right off the bat is that just in case you're new around here or you haven't seen the stuff, or maybe you've seen what I'm talking about and you haven't fully grasped the way that I work, even though it's like you might like hear what I'm saying and think that's really interesting, but like you don't know how I work. Like I work in here. You see this right here? This is VS Code with my file tree on the left, which is my AIOS directory. It's a folder on my computer that's a bunch of fucking shit in it. And then I have Claude code chats up at the top. Okay. This is how I work. Basically, I'm not exaggerating. 90 to 95% of the time, I'm right here. Okay. If this scares you, my advice would be okay, but like maybe just think about it, give it a shot, or like try to like don't be like scared by like being in an ID or whatever the case is. It doesn't really take most people long to like get used to something, but it has to make sense for them. So I'm not trying to necessarily sell you on the concept of building one of these for yourself because I more that I look at this, it's not for everyone. There are a lot of other great alternatives to kind of do the same type of thing, but I just want to be very clear in the fact that this has actually, a lot of people on YouTube will tell you it's changed, things have changed their lives. This has actually changed my life. Like the way that I work now is so custom and perfect to me that the only thing that I wish, and the reason I keep talking about this stuff is because I wish other people could feel like this. I don't care how they do it. I just wish they could feel like this, because if they did feel like this and they did actually get the stuff done, and they did have, so much more assistance, especially all of the people that a lot of people that I've talked to over the last few years, like they're independent workers. They're like freelancers, or they're like agency owners, and they're like dealing with other contractors or stuff like that. Like all of that type of stuff is that type of, like, I'm not talking to enterprise people here. I don't think, like, this is amazing for that archetype of person. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just speaking the truth, the way that it's changed me. I kind of want to talk about, obviously via the thumbnail or whatever, I want to talk about kind of like a little bit of last month in June. I want to talk about how I feel like the AIOS has helped me like fulfill a lot of that, how it helped me kind of get those deals kind of in the first place. I'm going to try to go high level on a lot of it. If you're here and you have questions, drop them in the chat and I will facilitate those questions. If you are watching on the replay, you can comment or whatever. And if you want a deeper dive at this, if you want like bi-weekly Zoom style calls where you can have conversation. We just had one yesterday, Modern Builder Society. Okay. The link is in the description. It's my premium community where we have discussion. I drop all the resources. You can get them all there for free. And I'm constantly in there talking about like things that I'm doing. Like that's the first place that I post and the most detailed place that I post about stuff. So if you want all that, that's in there. If not, watch the YouTube videos. Cool. All right. So, I guess we can just start ripping through some of these things. Last month, I made $26,000 in revenue for the business. So, well, technically across two businesses, but really it's all like very similar work. I have Motive 11, which is my service business, and then I have Szymanski Media, which is like content and like consulting. It's a little bit of a gray area sort of with some of it. Because some of the consulting ends up being more of like implementation at times, and I'm learning that, but it is what it is. It's how I set it up a while ago. I think it's half decent, and I'm not going to change it because it's not really that broken. So that's that. All right. The first thing that I want to do here is I want to, I guess, just bring up mission control, because mission control is like the thing that kind of like drives a lot of this. Also, okay, no, the chat thing is working. I saw chat coming through on YouTube, but I didn't see chat coming through on my thing. But yeah, James in the house. Damn, there we go. Yep. What's up, dog? So you're on the list, dude. I was going to talk about some of that stuff, so we'll get to that. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to go over to the command center. Okay, this is the command center. If you don't, well, the command center is this one thing. Mission control is just the command center is one fucking page of it. I didn't name it. And then mission control is like where the AIOS is. Again, 18th time, AIOS is just a folder on my computer plus like state, which is like a database of things that are in there. This piece right here, this is like the window into the data. Okay, so this shows like actual like numbers. Obviously, like I have to do a couple things here, right? I don't really have a problem telling you like who I work with most of the time. I'm a little more lax inside of Modern Builder Society, but like numbers and client put together, I'm kind of like, I don't want to do that to them. So I'm happy with saying like who I work with most of the time and like how much money I make in an aggregate. But you know, because I don't give a fuck. I want to say this now, so when I'm making hopefully way more later, I can still say it then, and I can be like, I've been fucking telling you guys this since whenever. But that's the concept there. Okay, so just, you know, again, I've talked about the mission control situation before, but I'm not a big UI guy in the sense of interactivity anymore. I'm a UI guy because I have eyes, and that's how I need to, until Neuralink comes, this is how I need to process the information. So you can see like we have like the actual command center piece here. It's kind of like the main, you know, roll up of everything. There's a lot of different things I could talk about here that have gone on. This is like a custom thing. This is not a fucking app. Okay. This is on a subdomain of my website, password protected. Like it's hosted on, it's like a Cloudflare worker, and it has a D1 database powering a lot of the information in here via Cloudflare. Yeah, I mean, I could get more technical, or we could ask Claude to like give you the full technical breakdown. Like, but that's what it is. I've orchestrated this whole thing over time. It didn't look like this initially. This isn't some sort of 5-minute one-shot fucking bullshit. This has been like a month, possibly 2 months of like of iteration. Not to mention that's how fucking software actually does work. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It takes a while to get to where you want. Certain things can be fast for sure now, but like that's just how it is. So I use AI as a multiplier of my efforts, not like a magic wand. Okay, so I'll stop with the soapboxing there. So the next thing though is I wanted to show you like because I told you about the 26K number. Back it up, like all my transactions, everything. I made a video about how I QuickBooks Online, like I used to use that. Used to pay 120 bucks across 3 subscriptions per month for all that sort of shit. I dumped it all in here. It's in my database now. These are all the transactions from my cards. SimpleFin, right somewhere up here. I don't know where it's at, but SimpleFin, great thing. Did I put that on my tools page? You can go to my tools here if you want, and you can see all the shit that I use. I don't know if I put SimpleFin on here. Great API. I don't know why that's not on there. I don't think it is. Why don't we do a fun live demo, shall we? Should we do it from the chat, or should we do it from the typical thing? Let's do it here. I guess we'll do it here. We can do it here. I'll show you a quick demo. I think the best way to do this is just do quick demos occasionally when I have the opportunity, because why the fuck not, right? That's the only way that we're all going to learn how I currently use this. So I open a new Claude chat, and here's my idea. Okay, so the idea that comes into my mind is that I want to add another tool to this. Okay, what the fuck would I have had to do in the past? I would have had to go to my main WP thing, or wherever, like wherever I log into my hosting, wherever the fuck I log into my WordPress website. I would have had to click in there. I would have had to go get the fucking image. I would have had to get the information. I would have had to do all this shit and gather all the data for like each piece of these things, right? And like Astro as an example, like I would have had to get this. I would have had to write this in there. I had to come up with this, come up with this, come up with these fucking things, get the link, all this bullshit, the fucking tag, if it's free or not. Just hang on, hold on to your hats. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not even going to go to it. I want to see how good it is, because sometimes it's not perfect. I'm not trying to like make it sound amazing, but here's what I want to do. Hey, listen, on my markszymanski.co website, we have our tools collection with everything that shows up there. I would really like to add SimpleFin because it's one of the greatest like API platform type things that I don't know if it's technically, is it just I don't know how you would describe it. Is it technically just an API? I don't know what it is. I don't know what category technically it would go in on the tools page. Probably, I would imagine the one that has probably maybe infrastructure. I don't know. It's kind of like an API. Maybe we end up changing it. I don't know. But I would say probably infrastructure for now is fine. We could always relabel them. But so SimpleFin, you told me about it. You can go look for it. It is that API that aggregates all of the financial data. It's incredible. I used it to build the QuickBooks video, like to do QuickBooks, which I don't know if there's already a relationship there or not with, well, there is a relationship with tools and videos, right? So you could do that as well. You could relate it to the QuickBooks video. There's probably a lot of things that we're missing there. But you could go to my YouTube channel, find that QuickBooks video, find the link and everything like that. I think it's already on the website. If it's not already on the website, put it on the website, but I'm pretty sure it's already in videos. And then for the tools, like I said, add SimpleFin in there. You can do the standard, tagging and everything like that, just based off of the context that you have for it. And whatever the little blurb is, you can grab that from just like literally what the thing is. And then the last part is like my piece of context. I mean, you could like the story around it, right? The reason that I like the tool is, and the story is that I was trying to replace QuickBooks because I was paying $120 a month for 3 subscriptions, and I didn't use 95% of what QuickBooks offered. So I needed to find a solution to build my transactions and my basic bookkeeping into my AIOS. And I consulted with Claude, and Claude pointed me at that, and it was a great tool. It's very cheap, and it works incredibly well. And Claude Code was able to wire up the API and everything perfectly, all the calls and everything like that. And we were able to automate a lot of the stuff afterwards. But the actual service itself is an incredible value and was literally exactly what I was looking for. So I would recommend it to people that want to do the same. All right. So you might think that that is an obnoxious prompt. I am not a token budgeter. I don't give a fuck about that. Fun fact, I came close this week to coming up my weekly limit. I was at like 90-ish%, but it was a lot of sub-agent random bullshit that happened like earlier on in the week. It just started spinning up shit. And then I also used Fable earlier in the week. I have not ever really came close to this. And I'm on the $100 plan, not the $200 plan. Now I'm using a lot more, so I come up on my session limits a little bit sometimes, but that's the whole thing. I don't know if I'm supposed to prompt better than that. I don't give a fuck. I prompt like that, like you just saw, 24/7, 365, whether it's from here or if I go remote control and I go on my phone on the Claude app, whatever it is, I am constantly doing that. Okay. So that is how I just talk to it like I would talk to anyone. And I give it all that context of what I wanted to do, and then it goes and does it. Now, a couple fill in the blank things real quick. Okay. How the fuck does it know to do any of that? How does it like you just told it all that shit? Like what is it like? How's it doing that? What's the deal? Well, this is why, okay? I'm not saying this is the only way, but this is why the way that I built this works, or the way that I orchestrated this works. Everything in this AIOS folder where we're working in and that it has context about is all in here, right? So we have like mode of 11, we have entities, we have this entity situation here. We have Szymanski Media, which is largely, my website is largely kind of associated with that. It has inside of here, I'm not going to open this, but it has environment variables in here. Those environment variables are the access, the API keys to all of these connectors. These connectors are all of the shit, there's all of the services that I have not built into my thing yet, which I'm not going to build all of them in, but like obviously sometimes there's some pieces of software that you need, that I believe that you need to have and you're not going to replace, right? Maybe your email, obviously your banking platform potentially, SimpleFin in that case, right? Like I'm not going to rebuild all that stuff. There's some stuff I already rebuilt. Obviously QuickBooks, right? Senja was another one, right? Like I had API connections. I was like, I'm not using half the shit in here. I could just rebuild it, and I did that. And then you get rid of API connections or something like that. Outside, or rambling a little there. The point is though, what did I just tell it to do? I told it to go look at my YouTube channel, go look at my website, go find the code base of my website, do all this shit. The reason I can do that is because I set it up to do this. And there's some products now, like, Christian McCoy has been talking to me, every day about Victor. If you haven't heard of Victor, you haven't gotten the fucking ads, God bless you. But like, that's fantastic. It only works in Teams and Slack, so you got to work in there. It's better for, collaboration and stuff like that. But I'm saying there's all these other platforms like Hermes, like OpenCloud, where you just connect the shit and it just kind of works. That's cool. And I'm not saying not to use that. However, I like knowing what's going on, and I like being able to see all of the things that I'm connected to. And if I can control that context, because in my opinion, I have a belief that the context that you have is the only thing that's not commoditized at this point. It's the IP that you own for either yourself or your business or whatever you're trying to do. That's the only thing that, like, you don't have a that's the only thing that, like, nobody, I don't want to say nobody can take from you, but it's like the only thing that really differentiates. Everyone can build their own AIS or spin up one of the fucking agents now. I'm not saying everyone would, but it's that easy. But there's a big knowledge gap issue, and a lot of people don't know it yet. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. But like, that's that thing. Like, everyone can do that. Everyone has access to LLM stuff. All the LLMs are getting, like, basically as good as one another. Obviously, there's differences, benchmarks, and all this bullshit. And Fable is fantastic in this, but like, the reasonably priced shit that you can get in on a $20 or $100 subscription is incredible. Like, it's legitimately crazy. Plus, if you have any sort of setup that you can go local, it's also fine. Like, you're going to be able to get work done. The bottleneck is no longer 10 years ago when nobody knew about AI except, like, maybe, I don't know, people in the government or whatever, and they were able to do that sort of stuff. A lot of the those barriers type things are no longer exist, right? So what I'm able to do here, and it's able to just go do all this work for me while I just fucking sit and yap here, okay? It's able to go do all of that sort of stuff because it has access on this computer to in another directory, my projects directory, to my markszymanski.co code base. It has access to just go do shit over there and then push it. It held the push here, but it can just push it up to Cloudflare to redeploy once I'm like happy with it or whatever. Most of the time I just kind of let it do that because in stuff like this, like, it's relatively straightforward. But obviously you'd want to work locally if you are working on something, depending, or at least a dev link or whatever. This obviously isn't like a full tutorial. I'm just trying to give you a quick demo of something that I would do here. Because again, the last thing real quick, and then I'll look at this. The only other thing you might be thinking, because I think of objections constantly when I think about this bullshit, because I am skeptical by nature, so I'll be skeptical for you because you're, on the other side of the screen. You might be thinking, Mark, you did all that. Maybe you could have just done half of that shit manually in the time that it took you, maybe that 5 minutes or whatever that was. I'll be generous there and say that. I could have, but here's the thing, okay? I'm talking to you. I'm on a live stream right now, okay? I'm not going to like I'll go do something else. I could have gone and done something else, or I could have done it manually. I'm talking you through what was just happening there to some extent. But in practice, okay, if I wasn't live streaming and I wasn't recording this, do you know exactly what I would have done as soon as I hit enter? I would have gone to another chat and I would have done something else. I would have orchestrated something else. You need to start to see, and this is the only real advice that I would give you because this is objective. Like, you need to start to see that mechanism that I'm talking about there, that is like maybe a version of context switching. It's not context switching at all. It's not by its nature at all the same context switching that we've been talking about for like the last 5-10 years or however long we've been talking about it, where you like, oh, you got to go here and then you got to go to this other fucking thing. Then you got to use your brain power to remember this fucking UI for this thing and then this and that. It's not like that. It's not like that. It's like orchestration context switching, which is totally different because I could like, if I had a line of people in front of me that are like servants, okay, assistants, and I said, hey, I first person, I say that exact thing to you, and then you run off and do it. And then the next person steps up and I say, okay, for you, I want you to go, I'll show you another example that I did earlier. I want you to go and I want my transactional email right now is with Postmark. My marketing email is with Bento. I really want to change my emails on my website, okay, on my website here. Instead of these resource emails right here, instead of these coming through Bento and having to do this flow bullshit that like is great. Like it's great technology, but like I have to manually do it, and it really messes up like the flow of you automatically doing this for me and setting all these up when I have a new resource. Instead of that, what I want you to do, I want you to switch the bento. I want you to keep the bento stuff where everything, you know, when people put their information in here, it goes to my marketing platform. But the email, instead of being sent from bento through that flow and me having to do the manual shit, I want you to instead take those emails, those email templates that I shared with you, and I want you to replace them. I want you to rebuild them within the code and then just send them via Postmark. So in the future, I don't have to actually do anything manually, and I can just tell you like, hey, I got this cool resource that I want to share with everyone. I want you to go to my website. I want you to publish it. I want you to publish this piece here. I also have a YouTube video that I want you to publish on my videos directory, and then relate the two, so you have all this information and it's put in the thing. Then I want you to create like, you know, do our standard form here where it says best describes you, all that sort of stuff, and link this up appropriately via Postmark and build the email so that when people come in here and they say, send me the system, their information goes to Bento. One action goes to Bento. One action comes to me and says that somebody, you know, signed up or whatever and got the download. And then one action goes to Postmark and sends them the actual email. So I know everything I just said there was incredibly like randomly abstract, but like I'm trying to create a point where like that is how I work now. I just tell the thing what to do and it just works. So you could make arguments about like, oh, do you know what's going on? Like I know a lot about what's going on. I know a lot more than like a general vibe coder would, because again, for the 18th time, like I know everything that's going on here. And if you're not looking at this fucking file tree, okay, and you're just ripping, you know, fucking Telegram messages, God bless you. Do whatever the hell you want. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just saying that like that's very different than like than orchestrating a system like this, where you understand where all your context lives, the connections that your system has, and then the fucking pipelines that you can run that you orchestrated. Like I don't want to go too far on this, but like I literally did this shit manually for years. And then I just described what I wanted and I tweaked it, because it's not a one shot. I tweaked it so that for like, you know, the FBP production, my podcast, I can just give it 4 files and it will output I have a video on this too. It will output a timeline file that I can put in DaVinci and then make adjustments to. Like that's not magic, but it's like it wasn't even thought of a couple years ago. And mind you, this was all possible a few years ago, because it's all just using deterministic stuff. Like this stuff isn't like, there's not just like AI inference like splattered all throughout here. It's sprinkled in when I need artificial intelligence. I used artificial intelligence to create the deterministic flows. I think that's objectively probably something you should do in your life and in your system, because like if you don't know how to code all this stuff, or if you do and it would have taken you literally 100 times longer to do it yourself, like that's literally the whole hang up for a lot of people, is a lot of times people probably could build this shit, but if they did it, they would waste their time doing it, because the ROI doesn't make sense. They should just keep doing stuff manually because they know how to do it. So end of rant. Let's go back to this just so we can finish this up. I think this didn't post it because it tries to be safe and not go crazy, which I do appreciate. So what it is, it knows what it is, did the blurb, it saw my QuickBooks video again, because it goes to my YouTube channel, you know, can go directly to it. Might be able to scrape it too, but it has direct access to it. Just go look at all my shit. So it like up via my Google account to look at it. So I found the YouTube video. It's got the relationship with that and the other Claude, other tools. Did it add it? It was not actually on the site yet. So you found it. Okay, cool. Right. Okay. So I guess let me actually look at this real quick, because it didn't push this yet. Right. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go here. Notice it's not on here. I think it's right before or after this video. So when I push it, we should see changes where it adds another video in this thing, which I could make this like automatically always bring all the videos. I didn't really want that at first though, because I had like a curated list of videos that it was more like, it was mainly because like a lot of the older shit that I have, like I don't want to see, like I don't really need to see all those videos on here. But like this is another fucking thing, guys, that I've been trying to do this for years, and it's not like there wasn't ways to do it in WordPress, but like the amount of annoying ass time that I would have spent to like deal with this and make it the way that I wanted. I did make it a couple times. It's just I don't know what to say. I like working like this. It's, not apologizing for it. So, okay. So the next thing is like 2 calls to make a quick sanity check category. I put it in finance, not infrastructure. Okay. Yeah. Finance is probably okay. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of feel like infrastructure is probably because you wouldn't use it for finance. I kind of like APIs almost in a way, but I don't have that. No logo yet. Card render is fine without one. But it'll look touch bare. Yeah, we definitely need. No, go find the fucking logo, asshole. Okay, so honestly, I think we should go infrastructure. It's not. I wouldn't really call it finance. I don't know. I wouldn't really call it finance, to be honest. I wouldn't. It's not the same principle, I feel like, as finance. So I would go infrastructure for now. We might have to relabel some of these things to API, but that's not that important. Go find the logo, dog. I don't care how you have to find it. Like find it via the the fave icon if you really have to, or like that logo exists somewhere. Go find it and bring it in. Because I'm not gonna go find it for you. And yeah, I'm pretty good with everything else there. That works. Once you do that, you can push it. Cool. I'm going to the chat, boys. What's up? What's up? Morning, Mark. Found your approach to working with AI has aligned with. Yeah, hell yeah, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, Ron, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being in the community. Thank you, thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited for you, man. I saw your post today. I don't know what to say, man. I feel like I keep saying the same shit over and over, but you know what? I think that's a good sign because finally, like, I actually want to talk about things that are exciting to me and also like legitimately productive. Like, it's not like some bullshit where like I'm like, I just tweeted about this, like, because I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, for so long, I have been like analyzing problems and overthinking them and trying to think like, oh, all this stuff about like, oh, how, like thinking more about the problem instead of like understanding the problem at its core very quickly, doing some due diligence there, and then just like orchestrating a solution. Like it's so much better, in my opinion, to just start diving in to the solution, especially now where like you have the ability to make pivots. Obviously, you don't want to go completely in the wrong direction and have to turn around, but I mean, shit just happens. Like the worst thing that I've ever done in my life is overthink shit. It doesn't help. And most of us, if not all of us, like anybody that cares about this stuff and like is like fucking with any of this, you probably know more than you think. Like you probably are your own worst enemy because you probably think, I mean, I'll speak for myself. I was my own worst enemy. I still can be at times, obviously. I know what I'm doing. Like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm trying to achieve. I know how this shit works. I'm getting better every single day. I'm not going to listen to the fucking people that say, oh, you need to know every fucking little bit of syntax and bullshit and all this other stuff to do stuff. No, it's not real. They didn't fucking know that when they started building shit. You don't have to fucking know that when you start building shit. Like, it's really that simple. So you're going to learn over time. This is how the world is going. Everyone is doing this now. Like everyone, like everyone that's like in this thing is at least using it in some fashion. Use it responsibly. Okay. I guess I have to say that. But like at the end of the day, this is only gonna make sense over time, but it's a bet that I'm willing to make. At the end of the day, the only thing that's gonna speak for itself is do you provide and do I provide value to myself, my own business, or my clients with what I'm doing, and does it work? Like literally, does it work? I don't know when we got away from that. I'm not saying there's levels to does it work, but like there is definitely like a reasonable floor to that. And like if it works and it stays working, it doesn't break, it doesn't cause any fucking problems, I think we're gonna be all right. I don't know when we got to this point where like, and a lot of it is just cope, where people think that like just because the AI is building shit for you, it's like somehow less valuable or way shittier. Humans designed the fucking shit. It's way better. It's getting so crazy that they don't even understand how it's working. But it doesn't. It's not like I do this and then there's a bunch of fucking errors. Like the syntax is fine. I mean, maybe there's problems here and there or something like that or whatever. Maybe it's not like exactly how Joe Schmo that's been coding in his basement for fucking 17 years would do it exactly. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm so past it. I am building good, solid, beautiful websites with also a lot of my consultative and experience played into that. You can't, like, again, that there is, I'm not saying there's not some of that. If you're, 18 years old and you're picking this up for the first time, you have no experience, the shit that you do is probably going to suck. Just like the first fucking WordPress websites I built sucked, right? And just like all of us. And then also even like web app things now. Like web apps are kind of easier in some ways because you don't need to worry about like the visuals as much. You just need to understand the architecture. And if you understand the architecture, the syntax is pretty much a given. You just need to make sure that it does what the client wants and what the client needs, and you're storing the data and making sure you're backing it up. You're not having any problems there. Obviously, some level of security. A lot of stuff that I do is like internal. So, I don't know what to say. Like, don't. I would lean optimistic. I would be more optimistic about this, all of this stuff, because the only things that you could be pessimistic about, from my perspective, are things that you can't fucking control anyway. And I've decided in my life that I'm not going to worry about things that I can't control. So yeah. All right. So either this didn't deploy yet, or we're waiting on it. Normally if I have this issue, I just go, sometimes obviously it's rebuilding the whole site. It's a static site, so it takes a couple minutes. If I ever have an issue, I go to Cloudflare and I look at the deployments and I see, hey, did it fucking break? Is there a problem? I could also this thing is literally linked up to Cloudflare. I could just say in a couple seconds, like, hey, did it work? Did the build break? But typically it does take a couple, like a minute or two, just because there is a good amount. It's 151 pages. There's a good amount of shit going on here. But ultimately, yeah. So I think I put it in it's finance. Yeah, it has a tag system, also a category system. I think finance is good for that, for the tag piece. There we go. All right, so here it is, right? So what did it do? It did all this. It put this in here, right? Obviously, this is already like templated. It's kind of really just adding a custom post type if you're familiar with like a WordPress situation, right? But it did all that. Oh, look at that. It found the thing. Sometimes too, random tip, if it says that it didn't do something or it can't do something or something like that, like, just tell it to go fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like, just go tell it to do it. Go tell it to find SimpleFin. Okay, the SimpleFin thing here. All right. I mean, I don't even, I know I say this all the time. I just don't know how to even, I don't even know how to describe it at this point. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know why it's not on here. Let's reload here. Did you not put it on the fucking thing here though? No, it's right here. Yeah. Like, I don't know even how to describe it. You know what I mean? I don't know how to describe what I'm doing in a sense of, it's just so magnificent. And again, I'm not tooting my own horn saying that I developed, I mean, I orchestrated this individual one, but this way of working, I don't know how you look at this and you're not like, that's incredible. That was one small example. Okay. That was a very small example. And it saved me, I don't even know how to equate it. I've saved so much time. I'm not even sure how to fucking add it up anymore. It's wild. Okay, cool. Little live demo. Awesome. Where did we even get on that topic from? I don't even know. I was looking at something. All right, back to the chat for a second. You're on another list. Yeah, we can talk about that. What's up, Fat J? Just use Copilot. Tokens don't matter. Yeah, obviously it's just free. I need to watch you build something because I'm not understanding what you need by it. What it is you need to see so badly. Assuming annoying ass time is WordPress, but yeah. I mean, this is a good question. I mean, whatever we need to do here, we can do this. I had you on the list, James, because I wanted to provide value to you and other people simultaneously. So, I mean, that was one example, I guess. We didn't really need to see that, I guess, though. Where is that shit at? I think it's, yeah. Okay. What do we want to build here? Or what's another example? I mean, the free resources thing, I guess you can't really see me build that, but I could explain that like super quickly like I did like 2 seconds ago, but I could explain it like a little slower. These are resources, okay? These are resources that, well, actually I could finish this process actually because it's not fully done yet. But these resources are like zip files or markdown files or whatever that are on my Bunny CDN, okay? So they're served from bunny.net. Now, that's the reason I put them there, is because I wanted a place to store them where, you know, you could access them. Like I could send it via a link essentially, and you can access them if you're like, you know, you want the resources. So the concept here from a marketing perspective is very simple. I talk about shit in the YouTube videos. I provide some sort of Claude skill or some sort of template thing. Really, everybody just gives away Claude skills now. There's literally nothing else to give away. So you give like a Claude skill away, and some of these are Claude skills, right? And like this one's the most recent one. So it's a Claude skill for YouTube metadata. It was this video. I talked about it. I wanted to get, you know, obviously I want to get email addresses because that's what you do. You get leads, you get people that are interested in things. The one that I can talk about the most maybe is this proposal slide deck. People love this. And what's interesting about this is that this video right here has kind of from what I've seen, it's generated a lot of non-technical leads, you know, newsletter leads or mailing list leads. So the idea is they watch this video. I say, go in the description, get the shit. You've seen all this. They come to this page. They see that video was like related. So obviously I did that. So a two-way thing. So if you come here, then you go watch the video if you hadn't seen it yet or whatever. But that's just like kind of like a relationship inside of Astro, which is not really even a relationship. It's literally just like, you know, basically a field with the slug in it. It's very, very simple, very easy. But I don't do it. I just know that that's how it works. So anyway, this is the thing. So it says what you're going to get, whatever, the skill mainly. They put their information in here and then they answer one question because this is pertinent to me. I want to know if you're implementing AI in your own business or if you're selling it to other people. And this is very simple. It's like if you're implementing in your own business, then I tag you as a service prospect. Because if you're a DIYer or like a, you know, DWY type person, then I have you tagged in my bento as somebody that I will market like service stuff to, which I'm not marketing enough yet, but that's the idea. And then if you're this type of person, if you're more of a peer to me, right, in a sense, or like a colleague type deal, then you're probably not interested in me doing work for you. You're probably interested in learning from me or are in the community or something like that. So that whole piece right there was orchestrated. Like there's too many fucking pieces. This is an Astro website. This form is not built with a fucking plugin or anything like that. This is built with like literal like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Like that's what that thing is built with. Which it's not hard to build forms, by the way. Okay, so as an aside, like it's not a complex thing. It can whip shit up very easily, and it looks great and whatever. Anyway, after the form is filled out, it's like literally, as I understand, it's literally just like a post submission, right? Like POST, like all caps, right? I'm pretty sure. Like that action or whatever that happens, you can do multiple things. We're all familiar with probably like form plugins, but ultimately in code, it just does shit. Like like the one thing that it used to do, the way that it used to work was it used to send an event and like a whole package of information over to Bento. Bento is an email marketing platform that I use. It's pretty great for email marketing. They also have transactional right now. I don't love it because it doesn't really line up exactly with how I want to use my transactional stuff. I've decided to use Postmark. I need to get rid of SendGrid fully. I'm still paying for it. Anyway, Postmark is great from what I've seen so far and how I've used it. Anywho, this sends that information to Bento, gets the information in there into my mailing list, tags them appropriately, it does all that cool stuff. Great. It also fires an event. That event fires off one of these bad boys. Okay. This is lead magnet flows. These are flows within Bento that you can create. Great platform here. You just can't agentically do anything from outside that I've seen. Maybe there's an MCP potentially that I don't know about, but I try to not use MCP because I try to use API for literally everything because API is superior in my system, in the way that I use my system, because MCP is only it's either as good as MCP is either as good as API or worse, and it's technically not the same thing because it's supposed to deal with AI rather than software to software, and I'm literally building software here. So, random aside, these are all those things, right? So if you look at this and you look at this, they map. So I made these flows in Bento, manual process, not terrible, but it's manual and I don't want to do it anymore. So I had this happen today. I wanted to add another one specifically for James's question about something that I can show you, and then I'll have it. And if you're in Modern Builder Society, you'll get it after I'm done with this when I post it in there. And if you are Maybe I could do it live. I don't know. And if you're not in Modern Builder Society, you can see it you can get it through the resources thing. But ultimately, you get all these flows, okay? And I would have added another flow. The way I would have done this is I would have like duplicated this kind of thing, added another one, changed the email, changed some of the information, manual process. That is, man, I got to come up with an idea, something that's manual and annoying and not necessary for me to do. There is manual things you have to do. This is not one of them. QA is one of them. Quality assurance and quality review. This is not one of them. That's just stupid monkey work. I don't do stupid monkey work, okay? So that's what I had to do. Then I realized, wait a second. These emails right here, even though people are signing up for my mailing list when they do this, technically, this is a transactional email. You're asking for something and I'm giving you something. Like this is technically a transactional email. Let me use Postmark. Let me explore that. And I can show you if we go right here. There's a long thread here where I basically say, hey, like give me the information, like kind of like how we should do this, whatever. And we just go through this. I go through it back and forth and be like, hey, like this is the first one, right? And I was annoyed. This is a good example here. I was annoyed right away, actually, with this project or with this session because I told it exactly what I just told you. And then it was like, we should use Bento transactional. And I was like, bitch, first of all, you know that I use Postmark. I just told you that I use Postmark. I told you that I was interested in using Postmark. And Bento transactional, like we could have used it like that, but like, why would you, and I don't really bitch at the AI like this too much. I do swear at it, but I don't bitch at it in the sense of like, oh, you should know this. I really try to think that if it doesn't know it, it's probably my fault. And this was a quick thing. I was like, no, it just kind of gave me the options or whatever, but ultimately Postmark is the way to go. Postmark was already on the site. We didn't even have to like do that. It was already handling all the other forms. Like it was the way to go. So I was like, no, we're going to use Postmark. And then we went back and forth on a bunch of different things. The hardest part of this going back and forth was literally creating a new email template. And it didn't need to be really created. I had it. I don't know if all the things are in here still. It had to create new, how do I put this? If you go in like Constant Contact or MailChimp or whatever, like, you know how like you manually create an email and you could create an email that like looks nice, that has HTML or some shit on it and like has pictures and stuff. I don't want to do that. Like that's not what anybody else does really. It's just like a regular plain-ish email with like a little bit of formatting, but nothing crazy. It tried to go the extra mile and make it look nicer because I told her I wanted to make it look nicer, which was silly. And then it tried to do like, like a container with, centered and had like some nice things in it. An actual like button looking thing. I was like, I don't need any of that shit, bro. We don't need any of that. So then I reverted, and that was the back and forth that I really had with it. But ultimately what I did was I went over here and I went to these like lead magnet things. Okay. These are the emails that I send. And I just went like this. I went save as, and I saved all these down because it can't actually get these. If I had these in my email, which it could have like went and got them out of my email, but I saved them all down. And then I just brought them. I just told it where it was at. I said, it's in the downloads. Go look at the fucking HTML from these emails and make something similar. And we made the bottom look a little better, a little nicer and stuff like that. But yeah, so did all that. And then we were pretty much off to the races. The last thing, I don't know why my mouse is being a bitch right now. Am I lagging? I think I'm all right. Whole computer's lagging though. It's kind of weird. Let me go here again. Okay, I think we're back. The last thing that we need to do though is, and we could do this right now, is we change the resource slug. Okay, cool. Turnstile check, Postmark sends delivery email, Bento gets the stuff that's actually happened. It's actually better than before because the old form just sent the role tag. Okay. Postmark pings you, cool. Answers your question when to kill the Bento flow right after it's deploys, okay. Basically, I'm at the point now where like I'm about to flip the switch. I'm about to like change the Bento change the Bento thing where Bento is still there, but Bento does the same thing. It just doesn't, it's not going to trigger a flow anymore. It's just going to have Postmark do that piece, and it's going to have Postmark Postmark didn't make the emails. The emails are made in the code, and then that gets sent via Postmark, which is, interestingly enough, if anybody doesn't know this, because I just learned it, SMTP is the big thing like in WordPress land, but technically like all the big email providers now, the delivery ones, like it's actually via API now, just like cleaner, more like reliable, stuff like that. It's kind of interesting. But some shit you still need to use SMTP for. Pushing the 2 options. I can push it now. You review diff first. I'm not going to review the diff. Yeah. Just fucking push it, dog. It's not that serious. Push. Yeah, so then it pushes it to GitHub. It's going to redeploy. It might give me some bullshit this time because I was doing this before I did that thing. Honestly, it might have actually already pushed it, to be honest. Sometimes there's problems, and you got to be careful. Sometimes when you're working on your site, right? I'm working on markszymanski.co in here. And then I got on the stream and I started working on it in a different chat. And it's still all the same code base. Sometimes it just does this bullshit where it pushes and commits all of the changes that it made and that it sees. So if these were already sitting there, then it might have already pushed them. I don't think it did this time, but it could have. Normally it tells me in the normally it tells me like over here. Okay. There, look, is exactly it, right? So I only touched my own files, the unrelated pre-existing uncommitted changes in that repo, the resource opt-in, I left alone and did not push. Sometimes it will just do that, like whatever the command is for push all. Got to be careful, okay? You could write that into your memory or something like that or whatever. Like, if I'm telling you something like only push your changes. I normally don't do that. I haven't had too many issues with that, but sometimes I've noticed that is that has happened. So I don't know what to tell you. Like a junior fucking developer could make that same mistake. You know what I mean? So I don't get it a lot of times, but I got to stop the soapboxing and just worry about the stuff that makes money and helps people. So yeah. All right. So, yeah. So I don't know if it's going to work right away. I don't think we added, let me see something here. Not this one. Let me see if we can add the other one real quick, and then we'll tidy this up and we'll keep going. Push. Okay, maybe it broke something. It's possible. Okay, deploy success. Let me retest the live endpoint. Ultimately, what I'm going to end up doing is like going to one of these and seeing if it comes through like kind of the new way that I had or the old way. I would imagine it's going to come through the new way. Honestly, right now, I could probably turn off the bento things. I can get rid of all these. Yeah. Eventually, I'm just going to turn this to draft, and that'll be that. Let's just see what we got here real quick. I don't know. Just doing some shit. What else can we talk about here? Are we done with the SimpleFin thing? I think we are. What else do we have on our schedule here while that continues? If you have any questions specifically, let me know. Free resource talked about. Yep, just talked about that. It's behind the scenes Postmark thing. Moved everything. I mean, it moved everything to Postmark. SendGrid. I'll tell you a quick story if you're interested. SendGrid was good, I guess. I just got it. It was free for a long time. Then I had to start paying $20 a month. I got it because I used GridPane, and it was really easy to use. It was really easy to set up, but it's clunky and old. And then I started using Resend on one project the first project that I used like Astro on, the Valor website. You could see that in the community, and it was okay. I mean, it was good, whatever. But the pricing is whack, honestly, with Resend. They also try to do marketing stuff too. I don't like that. I really like the idea of like separating my marketing and transactional. It could be in the same platform. Maybe one day Bento's like that, but like Postmark, I slept on Postmark for a long time. I know people talked about it. It's so good from a pricing perspective. Like it's literally, why am I describing it? It's literally like, let me go here and go Postmark. It's literally like incredible if you're somebody like me. Like, I'm not going to send more than 10,000 emails, right? But what they do is they decouple the volume from like the number, like the features. Like, I do need unlimited custom domains because I have more than 10 clients that I'd like to send email from. I don't know who is doing what I'm about to tell you, but like, I don't understand why. I guess some people are doing this. Like, I don't understand. Like, if you have a client and you want to send emails, they have forms and you want to send emails from those forms. Are people literally sending emails from like their own domain or some other domain? Is that what's happening? Like, it should be like if you're on markszymanski.co and you send a form, the email that the lead gets, so to speak, and the lead that the business owner gets should come from that domain, no matter what that domain is. And if you're managing more than 10 websites, you need this one if you're going to do that, right? So, like, I'm fine with paying $18 a month for that. And honestly, I don't even understand their pricing. I don't understand how this just keeps, like, this is kind of like a crazy scale here. I don't get this at all. How does this work when you get bigger? Okay, I guess it gets a little bigger, but I'm not sending 50,000 emails. I'm probably only sending like maybe 1,000. It's probably a lot per month, right? So it's like, this is a great deal, and I don't have to do anything crazy. Compare this to, not picking on Resend. Can't even fucking type it in. Okay. Resend. Like, it's cooler, it's slicker in a lot of ways. I mean, Postmark's fine, but it's slicker. But like, look what they did here. So transactional emails for unless they've changed this, but 3,000, one domain, 10 domains, 1,000 domains, $90 a month. Am I misreading? This doesn't even make any fucking sense. What? Oh yeah, look at this. It doesn't this is bullshit. Yeah, it didn't decouple it. This is just to show where you should go. Yeah, hate it. Absolutely hate it. Honestly, a stupid fucking model in my opinion. On the transactional side. This is great. I would have stayed here. Honestly, I would have stayed here. I didn't really go super deep into the platform, but it was easy enough to deal with and it was slick, like I said. But I don't know why as a transactional email service you would not decouple these. Like, this is totally different. Like, you could get the entire market, and that's probably why Postmark has so many people, is because this right here and this, that is very different. Like, it's very different with how many emails you get, emails you should be sending versus how many domains you want to be, you should be sending from. I didn't need unlimited, but I needed more than 10. You know what I mean? But I don't want to pay $90 a month when I'm not going to send that many emails. It's just how it is. I don't know what to say. My clients aren't making fucking whatever, How do you make 26K? I'll tell you. I should, we should do the thing that Tony Robbins said. Tony Robbins is we just got tagged in that thing. We just got tagged in that thing where Tony Robbins said his dog, his AI agent, sold NFTs to other agents. Honestly, there's probably like, I don't know how ethical that is, but there's probably like a huge opportunity to do that. Because there's probably a lot of people that just fucking gave all their credit card information to other fucking all these agents, and probably just communicate with them and just steal their fucking money. Not steal it, but give them something of value, like, an NFT. Yeah, that's an idea. Okay. I mean, how did I actually make 26K? I'll try to tell you exactly. Let me show you let me show you via the thing. Also, I feel the need to disclaim this. When I say the numbers, I'll say it again here just because this is the clippable part, so to speak. When I show you these numbers, I show you these numbers for a couple reasons. I show you because I don't like to hide shit. I like to be honest with where I'm at. I don't care that you know how little money I make or how much money I make, hopefully in the future. I do it because I do appreciate when people tell me how much money they make on YouTube. I don't appreciate it when it's like random crazy sums of money that like just doesn't make a lot of sense. But I mean, it's the reality of the situation. Like, you can make a lot of money doing digital work, regardless of if it's service or like community or what it is. I also built this fucking thing in here, so like I think it's really cool that I orchestrated this into this system. From a functional perspective, this is the best UI that I've ever, I mean, not best in the sense of beauty, but like the best user experience and to a degree, like the UI that it's been in here, like this right here. I don't know of any other platform that shows you this like this. And again, maybe it's because like I'm not diagnosed with like OCD or anything like that, but like I think it's because like my mind works like this for whatever reason. Like I want to see how much money came in, I want to see how much money I spent. I want to see how much my net profit was. I want to see what my margin was. I want to see how much money I'm gonna have to fucking give to the government. I want to see how much money I actually took home this year. And then I want to see how much money I've already taken out and how much money is technically left to take out, so to speak, right? And I love that. Like that's every number you could possibly want in order right now, right in your face, right? Somebody also asked, who was it? I think it was Aaron, maybe. I think it was in the community. What I do real quick on this thing for taxes, I didn't use it for taxes yet, but I have a P&L, printable P&L thing that it could just generate for me. And this is what I've given to my account in years past from QuickBooks. So that's that. So guys, I hope you appreciate the radical transparency here that some other people give you, some people don't. I just, I don't, I'm that kind of guy. So that's that. So that's the reason on the numbers. So I never wanted to feel like I'm proud of what I do. I'm proud of trending, but like, I'm not like trying to necessarily flex. I'm just trying to, be honest. Okay. So how did I make the money? Like what actually happened? Both of like, there's mainly 3 big deals that came from, well, actually technically, I guess it's 4 big transactions that came last month. I have a consulting client that is paying me $4,000 a month. It is like a larger digital business, like they build websites and stuff that I'm consulting with directly. That came from a connection like over years. Okay. So I connected with them. That was actually a cold DM 4 years ago on LinkedIn. And they were in town, and I cold DM, had a conversation, went through it. That was like a 4-year sales cycle. Okay. There was multiple times where like, oh, maybe we could work together. Maybe we could do some stuff, whatever. I just kept putting more shit out. I kept staying on the radar. I kept checking in and, kind of just being friendly, going out to eat a couple times, things like that. And then ultimately that has resulted in me being a consultative contractor, kind of like a fractional technical advisor for what they do. So, that's that. That has been recurring for a few months. It may continue to expand and expound. Okay, so that's that. The other big chunks were a big chunk of it, two something or whatever, $2,000 or something was from reoccurring. That's business revenue, like the care plan shit. Okay. The other 3 big deals were from existing clients that I have built websites for, and 2 of them were rebuilds. 2 of them were 5K rebuilds of websites, and the other one was a 9.5 K web app rebuild, internal web app. Okay, so the websites, the story on the websites was built. It was they were in Webflow. There was like 2 websites that, again, connections, networking, several years ago, 3-4 years ago. They had shitty-ish websites in Webflow, needed to get off that for whatever reason, came to me. I built them in WordPress, built them both in Elementor. God bless me. That was a pain in the ass because I rebuilt them basically, and mostly the same, made some tweaks. But those were cheap deals. I don't even remember what the fuck. Maybe it was $1,000 for each. It was fucking rough. It was just to get on the recurring and get the relationship established, and we've changed things over the years. But at this point, I was like, we need to rebuild. Like, these have been whatever. So I pitched them on that. To kind of, I'm trying to give you the story here, but ultimately, like, the way that this worked was, see, it's so hard because like I want to give you the full story, but like I feel like there's that last bit of it that I just don't want to. It's not even for me. I just don't want to like say like, oh, this fucking person paid me this much money. Like I don't care about, again, the aggregate or the clients necessarily, or like types, but I don't know. I feel a little weird about that still. But anyway, let me explain it to you. All of the context since building the AIOS, all of the context from every conversation and everything that we do, that I do with the clients, I'll give you this. I think of an idea. Okay. I think of an idea. All right. I'll give you the whole flow and it'll explain this. And then I'll explain like the rest of the thing. I think of an idea. I think of something to pitch to somebody or something like that, because now I can see everything. Okay. And I think, okay, let's pick one of our clients. These are fake names because it's demo data. Let's pick one of our clients and let's say Kestrel Labs here, right? Or whatever. They're in the lead thing, but let's say Kestrel Labs. All right. I want to pitch them on something. I want to pitch them on a $5,000 website. Okay, cool. So I think of that and I orchestrate and I say, hey, Claude, we're going to do this. Create them how would I do it? I would literally say, hey, Claude, we got this client called Kestrel Labs, whatever. I really think there's an opportunity there. Can you go back and can you find all the information about them? I'm trying to think how this actually went down for this one. This one was more of like, they wanted to kind of get rid of a different website that they had, and then they wanted to bring it in. And I saw that as an opportunity. So then we converged two websites, and then there was another website that I built, or that I sold, and then we just built that. So like, I don't know how to explain this to you. Literally, it's just get all of the context into the fucking files, have conversations with them, record the conversations, bring the transcripts into the files, and then come back after the meeting and have and like debrief with Claude to then come up with a proposal. And I have a proposal, like literally the video that I showed you. What's a good example? Let's do that. Let's do that actually. I want to create a test proposal, like an example proposal for a fake client where we like build a website. Okay. So I kind of want to go through the whole process. I'm currently live streaming. Okay. So don't use any real client data or anything like that. But what I'm thinking is let's make up a client and let's kind of go through a little bit of this process. You know what? I'm actually thinking about something. This is going to be a little hacky, a little pieced together. It's not fully vetted out, but in the other chat, we came up with that fake client, like copper line something. If you have context that we could use them, and all I want to do is I want to show how I would go about this. I want to have you draft an email. Don't actually draft it in the email though, but draft an email here saying hey, we could really do something for you, like a website here. I want you to create a demo proposal using our skill, our Motive 11, demo skill, and just make up an example, something like that. And let's just kind of see what we can do there. Probably should have been a little more prepared to show you an exact example. But honestly, I'm building the shit so fast that the processes come after, the first time you do something. So all these are kind of in here already, but it's not like the 26K, for instance, last month didn't come from new clients. It came from people that I saw opportunity in that I was already dealing with. So I sold those two websites to people that were already in my ecosystem that I had an opportunity there. And then I used this system to do that. And then the web app thing, same exact thing, had an opportunity. That was a longer sales cycle of what to sell. But eventually it was oh, our proposals and shit like that suck. Or the process to do that sucks. So we need something to make that better. And I was okay, wait a second. It's a surveying type company, engineering or whatever. So let me do this and this, right? So I was let me do they don't have a CRM. They don't have anything like that. It was just an Excel spreadsheet that was coming in off the website, which I manage. And then I was okay, let's do a lead system, a very bare bones CRM system where it just grabs all the leads and has all the information. Then you click a button and it goes to the due diligence section where the due diligence is all of the, looking at the land requirements, parcel stuff, all this sort of shit. So they don't have to go manually do as much stuff. And then it also takes all that information and builds it into a proposal. So they don't have to manually fucking copy and paste all this different shit. So yeah, I mean, largely I don't think that was. Did it get the right thing? I don't know if it got the right fucking thing. The copper line thing was from the thing that I was going to talk about with James and stuff like that he posted in the community, where there was a cool piece of what I did in the first time in these website builds, where it was like kind of like a design direction template, which I'm going to put up for the resource thing. Is there anything else specific there? I mean, that's largely how it works. I'll make a video or another live stream where I walk through everything. But again, like literally, the point of today's stream so far. Obviously, there's a bunch of things, and I'll check the chat here in a second because you might have direct questions, and I'm happy to answer. But the point of the stream here was to again be like, I am literally in the like. It's actually more not even about the selling. The selling's cool, whatever, we can talk about it. But I'm 3 weeks in to 2 website builds that are substantial. I mean, you could say what you want about 5K or whatever. Like, I think I quoted them kind of like more like 6 and 7 or something like that, and they came down to 5 or whatever. But like, you could say what you want about those, but the speed at which I've been able to do that is unbelievable. I'm 3 weeks in, and I've literally had 3 calls, like kind of like weekly with both of these clients that I'm talking about here, and the websites are almost done, just about almost done. And it's not like one shot bullshit AI stuff. Like, it's like a quality website, and the web app is like almost done as well. How long would this have taken? I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a lot of sacrifice for what we're doing. The infos. Where do I get the infos from? Did you connect it to your real bank? Yes. Yeah. All that info. All that info. Yeah, that's real shit. That's real shit. That came out of my shit. Yeah. SimpleFin. We just talked about it earlier. Mark Szymanski, tools down here. SimpleFin right here. Here's the link. It is $1.50 per month for this. It aggregates all of your, and it's like Plaid. Like it has all the banks in there. It has like, Novo, Mercury, Chase, Wells Fargo, all that shit. And you just log into it. And then it's an API. Like, it has all the sources that you have. And then it has an API key that you can get. You can have, I think you can have 25 apps, so 25 API keys, and 25 sources. I have like 10. And yeah, it just, where'd it go? These are just directly out of there. And then I set up an automation, obviously, so it pulls it. This, just real quick on this, because this is fucking awesome. API, aggregator, SimpleFin, all the other bullshit APIs for all the different banks that you can't really get access to as a normal person, right? This aggregator grabs all the shit, like every day or every, whatever the time frame is, and it aggregates it into like its own API based off of your sources and your credentials. Then your software, Claude, whatever the fuck, goes to the API key that you got in SimpleFin and pulls that shit out of there. And then the problem sort of is, I mean, you could pull it all the time and just render it dynamically, which I wouldn't probably recommend. That doesn't seem like a good idea. What this currently does is it drops it into my database, which is I believe I'm using locally here, State. This is where all my stuff lives. Like an SQL, I believe it's an SQLite database. Yeah, I think SQLite. That probably sounds accurate. What it does is it has like a database locally, essentially. It's SQLite database that it's set up. Yeah. And then it pushes that information, that database, and mirrors it on a Cloudflare D1 database, attached to my account and everything like that. And again, it does all that because I connected it to Cloudflare and I gave it the scopes in order to do that. Again, I don't want to touch anything. I don't want to be in the loop. It knows more than me, and it can handle it more than me. So I just orchestrate it. So that's what it does. And so all those transactions are like, the API could die tomorrow. I still have all this stuff. Like, this is stored. I wouldn't get more stuff, but it's stored. And then the last thing is that, the next problem is there's a couple little things here and there that I had to obviously work out. But the next thing was like, okay, well, I want this to update. And I also wanted to not overwrite shit. So that was like another problem because that API only goes like 90 days back. So like I had to backfill the stuff for this year initially because it was past, you know, March 31st or whatever. So I had to backfill. So I backfilled a bunch of shit initially into the database that I had to manually kind of like pull out, but then it automatically put it in from all the different like transaction ledgers in all the banks and everything. And then the bookkeeping refresh thing just like pings that all the time. It actually does more than that technically. Okay. Like I just, every time I think about this, I just like get so unbelievably excited, like overwhelmed almost because of how much shit it does. It gets the new transactions, but it also, you can't, I mean, like, I'm not gonna say you can't do this elsewhere, but like, I know nothing else made this easy or had this. Like, this is legitimately like almost like a product thing. It not only does it get the transactions, but the other thing, I don't know if you noticed this. The other thing it does is this right here, you see? Like you wouldn't be able to know this automatically in another platform. Like you wouldn't know that like Hollow Pine Studio is like has paid me this much money or Ellison Studio or whatever has paid me this much money. You wouldn't know that, right? Inherently, because most people get their money through Stripe or PayPal or QuickBooks payments like I used to do. But here's the thing. It's like Stripe knows that Hollow Pine Studio paid $4,000, $5,000, whatever dollars, right? Stripe knows that. And my AIOS can talk to Stripe perfectly. One, you know, like it knows all the data. So what happens is, pseudo code here, is the bookkeeping refresh, when it runs, it gets all that information from SimpleFin. It gets all the data from all my cards, my bank accounts, whatever. Then it looks for like Stripe and PayPal sales and it refreshes on the front end. Like it refreshes like this number. This is like from Stripe because that's where all my monthlies are in Stripe. So that's just a pure pull from Stripe. But then what it does is it does another pass and it does essentially, it looks at that transaction for $253 or $39. And it says, okay, wait a second. We know that that was revenue. We know it was from Stripe. Fantastic. But Mark wants to know a couple more things. Mark wants to know what that was for. And Mark wants to know who fucking paid that. Because if we don't know that, then we can't do something like this. So then it cross-references that with the information. It's basically like looking at the API, looking at the Stripe API, and potentially PayPal and shit, but I don't get much through there. So it's looking at the Stripe API and it's looking at the SimpleFin stuff and it's cross-referencing and it's like attaching shit in the back end to say, okay, this was from HoloPine for website management or some shit or whatever, right? So that's what it does. And then when you look at like cash flow, it also is able to do this. Like, because it knows that certain subscriptions and everything like that are website management. It knows certain things are website creation. It knows certain things are system builds. It knows certain things are website additions. And I'm not saying it just knows this shit, okay? Be very fucking clear, because people get to this point and then they're like, it doesn't fucking know anything. Bro, take a breath. It will know it if you fucking train it on and tell it and give it the context of how you want it to do it. Like, it's not gonna, why? In what world have we thought that like, oh yeah, like it's just gonna automatically do everything for me? Please don't adopt that mentality. A junior developer or whoever the fuck, like they're not gonna understand your system. Even a senior developer, whoever, like they're not gonna understand your system without you explaining it in great detail and iterating on it. So if you know the best skill that you can have right now, and for some reason it's just like the skill that I like the most. The most valuable skill that you could possibly have right now is the ability to articulate the solution that you're trying to create. That's literally the main thing. There's a lot of other stuff that goes into that for sure. There's context gathering, there's asking the appropriate questions, there's being skeptical when the thing gives you some bullshit. But I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that the way, I don't know what it is, I'm trying to like, you know, through live streams, through the community and everything like that, like explain what I'm doing. I'm trying to make it like dumb it down literally and make it more simple. It's just such a wild situation that I'm not kidding. Like the results that I've had are so good. They're not like, I'm not like annoyed at all. largely about anything. If sometimes it does stupid shit and I'm like, okay, well, that I understand why you did the stupid shit. Let's make sure the stupid shit doesn't happen again. And I just fix it. Like I don't have the same experience as other people where like it's either again, it's either a cope or a skill thing. Either you're coping because you don't like the fact that this thing can do everything that you can do or close to everything you can do, or it's a skill issue and you just don't know how the fuck to use it. And you don't know how to use it well. And maybe you're not willing to learn how to use it well. Maybe I'm more willing. I don't know. But I just look at this stuff and I'm like, I'm going to make this work. Like it's literally just going to consistently work for me because I'm going to continue to make it work. So yeah. Anyway, hopefully that explained that whole thing. Sorry for the long rant there, but that's how that works. That's how the cash flow thing works. That's how that all works. I even made the accounts thing too. That wasn't in there initially, but I figured that's kind of the final piece of it to see like a snapshot of like what we got going on right now, which I'm happy that we have that money in there, but I got to make more because that's not actually that much fucking money when you have a 2-month-old child and a stay-at-home mom. All right. So, Fat J, you can easily connect Stripe via API, data display. Yeah. Stripe's really easy. I would highly recommend. Yeah. But, well, I mean, I would just say I know this was a couple minutes ago. That's not, just to be clear, that wasn't just Stripe though. Yeah. Can we see the websites? See, like Fat J, I want to show you the websites, but I have a fundamental issue with like showing you guys. I mean, here's the thing. You're going to see the websites and like the people in the community have already seen the websites. I just don't know. I have an ethical dilemma with this. I'm being fucking completely honest with you. I'm not trying to bullshit you. Like I've told you exactly how much money, it's on the fucking screen right now, how much money I've made. And again, not a flex, just like because like this is radical transparency, Mark. I've told you how much money I make. I've told you how much money I sold the fucking things for, and now I need to and now like I need to show you the website and the client. Like that's literally everything. And also that's kind of like I'm not sure. Like I brainstormed on this. I was like, should I do that? And it's like I don't know if I should show you tell you exactly how much this specific client made, like charged. Like I charged a specific client for something. You know what I mean? Maybe it doesn't matter because ultimately you will absolutely see the websites. You just might not know which one it was. Because I'm gonna show them like 100%. When they're done, they're gonna go in the goddamn portfolio. Like there's no doubt about it. When the web app is done, oh, I'm gonna put that in there. Like I might have to obfuscate that because it's an internal thing or something. But like I'm gonna blast that out. I just don't know the answer to that question. You know what I mean? Yeah. Bank has an API, but that's not normal. That was what I was wondering. Yeah. For that, Mercury, I'm actually gonna probably switch. Likelihood that I'll switch from Novo to Mercury because Novo kind of it's treated me well, but Mercury is like pretty dope. And they also want to become their own bank. Christian McCoa speaks highly of it, so I've talked to him a lot about it. I might move. They have their own API, which I don't really need because it actually both of them use go through SimpleFin, but I might end up doing that. So, yeah, I appreciate you understanding. I don't want to leave you hanging. I mean, if you want to see them to see, if you want to see them to see the actual like how they're built and all the data, or I'm saying like if you want to see how they're like how good or bad they are, there's just so much shit on there like you'd have to change. Like I'm constantly thinking about this now. I not to dump on what my problems are. My biggest problem right now, as funny as it is that I need to figure out how to demo more shit. And like this demo data is a great example. It's like I want to show you everything, but there's a little bit of a limit, right? So like that's why I did that. It's like I want to be able to figure that out and make that better. Trying to think if there's like I could literally just like I'm literally thinking right now like I'll just go into Claude and I'll say, hey, this website for this client or whatever, what I need you to do is I need you to basically duplicate it and remove every single instance of everything about the client and make a new thing. But at that point, it's like, okay, well now there's video on there, there's photos on there, there's information on there. Yeah, it's just hard. I'll think about it. It's a problem that I need to solve in one way or another. So I appreciate you though. I appreciate you wanting to see it. I just don't know. I don't know how to facilitate that yet. Thanks, son. I'm from Germany. We have different banks. Just say no, Mark. I appreciate that, James. Appreciate that, big dog. Yeah, this is a free stream, so fuck y'all. No, I'm just kidding. I'd be a player. I'll do something different for you. Let's do something different. I will show you. I will show you the other shit that I wanted to show you. Let me go back. Let me try to help you guys out with some other stuff. Okay. So here's how I would do this. Let's say a lead came in right now. Let's say a lead came in right now via like a form or something, which honest to God, like it's not like fucking leads are pouring in. They do come in occasionally, but let's say a lead came in via a form and that form gets dumped into my inbox. What I would literally do is I'd probably be on my phone maybe, and I would see the lead come in, but then immediately what I would do is I would come in here and I would say, hey, Claude, listen, email just came in through the inbox, new lead for, web design work or whatever. I breezed it. I skimmed it over, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to go look at that email. I want you to get the context from it, and I want you to draft up a reply. Maybe we get on a call. I'm not exactly sure yet. I don't know. Maybe we'd get on a call. If so, drop a Calendly link in there so we can get on a call. Typically, honestly, though, what's happened recently is that I get these leads and then it's like they're not really sure like what they want to do. Like I had a back and forth of like 10 emails with somebody recently. They're just not really sure. And then ultimately I end up like pitching them on something. But let's imagine that it actually goes relatively smoothly. And maybe we get on a call or something like that. And then I have the context from their initial reach out. I literally would say, write me a response email, put it in my Motive 11 email, because that's where it came through, and reply in the thread, like draft it in the reply in the thread. And in a few seconds to minutes or whatever, it would do. I mean, I would give it more context about how I want to respond, but like it would do that. And then I would go to my Gmail, I would open it up, and it's sitting there is a reply in the thread, just like you would if you would have pressed reply. It's in there. And it says, whatever. And then maybe I tweak a couple things perhaps, and then I press send. I could send it through here. I just don't normally do that because that's a quality assurance step. Okay. So that's that. So then I do that, something like this, we'll say, like with this fucking copper line thing. And then eventually let's say we had a call. Okay. Then I would say, hey, Claude, had a good call. It's actually had a really good call with Copperline here. It's actually in my my Google Drive. It's in my meeting documents, as you know, because that's where Gemini saves everything when I do it with Google Meet, and it saves the transcript. So go get that transcript, bring that context in, put it in their client, folder, basically synthesize all that information, and then we need to work on a proposal for them. That is what I would do. Okay. I don't know how else to say this. It's that bang, bang, bang. I'm asking questions. I'm orchestrating the deal. When you're on the call, you got to be yourself. Although I do have a plan for that. I had this side note. I had this thing called Proactor AI for a second, because it's like the idea is it listens to your call as you're on the sales call, and it'll like pop up like questions and things like that to ask. It's a fucking incredible idea. One of you guys probably gonna steal it. It's fine, but I'm gonna make it a minimum for myself at some point, because I wanna like resurface things that I thought of that you could just have a list, but if you need help on sales calls, it's a great idea. It kind of fucking sucked though. Okay. So that's why I wanted to make one. It was an earlier AI product. Anyway, you have to be yourself on the call. You have to ask questions. You got to do all that stuff, but that is your main job. Like your job is to consult and get that information. You do not need to do the bullshit, like messing around and mucking around like with this stuff anymore. So I do that, and then it'll ultimately generate me like kind of a proposal. I have this skill set up, this proposal skill deck. It's not technically a skill because long story. I wanted modules and pipelines, and I don't know, maybe one day I'll change them to skills, but proposal slide deck, it creates an HTML, it creates a PDF that then you could say, let's walk through it. So this is going to open, I don't know if that's actually going to work. Let me go to a browser and see if this is going to work. Let me slide this over here for a second. Okay, you're a bitch. Let me do it like this. Give me the absolute URL to the HTML one. Sometimes it just is a fucking bunch of, yeah, it does like the it does the links there, the relative links. It's not helpful. So this is what I do. This is a proposal template. I don't know if like I've given this template away. I mean, that proposal slides thing is probably pretty simple. I probably changed it a little bit, but again, super quick tip. Use HTML for basically everything in your life. No, I'm just kidding. Use, but like, here's the idea. It's like, if you think of proposal, how do you think of writing a proposal right now? Maybe you think on a Word doc. Okay, fine. That's fine. Maybe you think like Panda doc. Maybe you think better proposals, all this other bullshit fucking SaaS that you're paying for. That is a good product, was a really good product, still could be a really good product, might have cool features that you like. But honestly, like for what you really need, and me, especially me, I'll speak from experience and myself, I have overcomplicated the fuck out of everything that I've ever done in business for the last 7 years. Okay. So in my mind, making something like this via HTML and then being able to export it as a PDF is literally perfect and is better than anything and is way fucking faster and just as effective. So got this beautiful little proposal now. Okay. You might, it kind of sucks. It could kind of be like a little bit better in a lot of ways, like with the vibe or whatever. But ultimately this is the type of thing that I send. Okay. Again, you could bitch at me about the design, but you can easily make the design better. This is literally like it's effectively a website. I don't know. This is a little obnoxious. I never ever fucking did this, but like generally it's pretty consistent every single time. At least with like what I'm trying to do and like the vibe. Again, the Motive 11 brand has like the orange accents and stuff like that. So you, what I would recommend is prompt it to make a proposal that is in, like, again, HTML. It's extremely malleable. So the reason I say that is because some people would think like, oh, I need to make this like into like directly into a PDF or directly into like an image or some shit. You don't want to do that, because when you generate that type of shit, you have no very deterministic way of editing it. Like if I wanted to change one letter or one word on this, easy. It's done in a second. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to regenerate the whole thing, right? So, and when you're done, if you need it in like a PDF format or something like that, then you could easily do that. Okay. So, actually it might just be, let's see if it's this. Let's see if it's just PDF. I don't know, maybe. So there you go. Now I didn't just convert it with that PDF thing, but it makes it a PDF. Okay, so this is what I'd probably send, right? Okay, so something like this. And again, you got to be careful with PDFs. Obviously, it changes shit sometimes. Okay, just be careful. Fucking work it out. All right. Think about all the time you fucking saved. Okay, before you bitch about having to make one more fucking prompt. Okay, and then okay, the last thing here is can you also attach that PDF? Like that PDF looks good. Everything like that. Can you attach that PDF to that email and send it out? I'm not gonna actually do that, okay? But that's what you would do. That's what I do, and it can attach. It's the API. If you want to fuck around with the MCP of Google, you can do that as well. But I made the connector. I did the OAuth stuff. It's very straightforward if you just continuously go through and ask everything. And then it has all of the like tooling created. And when it doesn't have a tool, I just tell it to make the damn tool via the connector to hit the appropriate endpoint to add an attachment to an email or whatever it needs to do. So it's literally a beautiful system. And then that piece up there, the like the email piece, is literally what I would do. I would say, okay, here's the proposal. We have all the context. I'm happy with the email. Put the email in the draft the email in the reply in Gmail. Put the attachment on there. I'll go in there and double check it. I double check it, make sure everything's good. I click send. They send it out. Fuck, there's too many more options. Okay, so the next thing is like, okay, hey, yeah, great. So sometimes this is manual, sometimes this is automated. It really depends on like if it prompts me versus if I remember versus whatever. But here's the thing, right? We're running businesses here. If we're being honest with ourselves, we're probably not tracking enough shit. I'm sure you've sent a proposal before and never fucking remembered to follow up on it or don't remember the status of anything. So if it prompts me, sometimes it prompts me to say, you know, do you want me to log this in the board because it has all this context? If it doesn't, I just say, hey, we sent this email, you know, everything like that. Can you make sure that you update our deals board with this? And then what it would do is it would come over here, we'd go into the deals, and we would see that, you know, like if it wasn't, if typically like these are ones that like I think I could have a conversation with and I'm in conversation with. This is when I kind of pitch them. Typically, what I actually do is I pitch them, because I've learned from business that you should never just throw a fucking proposal in front of anybody. You should always tell them how much the fucking thing is going to cost before you take the time to write a proposal. It was way worse back in the day when it took me an hour to write proposals. Now it takes me 5-10 minutes, but you should still do that, because like, why waste your time at all, or your tokens? But typically my pitched stage is, hey, I think this website's going to be $5,000-$10,000. Is that good with you? Like if I put a proposal in front of you, are you at least going to consider that, or is that way outside your budget? Are we wasting each other's time? You should get more comfortable with having that conversation. So then if they say yes, then that's when I do everything I just did, and I just do the proposal, and then I say, hey, notice again, I can't move these. Okay, I cannot click around and move these. I don't want to do that. I do not want to waste my time or get like weird and like, you can make an argument that moving this from here to here would be like faster. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to get in the habit of clicking around or doing shit, fucking making different views, whatever. I don't need all that. This is not Notion. Okay. This is a window. This is a mirror into what's going on. So, so that's that. And then I would say, okay, hey, do all that stuff. Really, it kind of happens almost automatically. It's like, it knows that I sent a proposal when I say it. And then it's like, okay, I'll move the deal over for you. And then if it's this Westbrook one, it just moves it to proposal sent. And then, this is a little bit more manual, but it kind of is automated. I'll explain that in a second. But like sometimes, like let's say they send an email back and they say, hey, appreciate you sending that over. We're looking at it. To me, that's a decision pending stage, because I know that they are at least thinking about it, right? You don't need to have these exactly like this, but they know they're at least thinking about it. So imagine that was here. They send an email back that says that. I'm still working on making this perfect, because this is really hard. This is the hardest part. Think of something that watches all of your surfaces, okay? All of your emails, all of your DMs, all of your whatever that's hooked up via those connectors. It watches it. And then certain things do things. There is an automation. It is called board reconciler. So every 15 minutes, it reads the watcher, which is just the thing that aggregates all that data. It reads all the observations, and it auto logs objective updates and pings me if I need to make judgment calls. So the concept that is half working right now, but it's really hard, I'll explain in a second, is that thing's sitting here. They send me an email back. I don't respond to it because I don't see it or whatever. Every 15 minutes, the thing goes through everything. It's like, oh, it sees, oh, somebody emailed Mark. Okay. Hollow Point, whatever the fuck, that copper place emailed Mark. What does it say? Oh, it says they're looking into it. Okay, great. You got the proposal looking into it. Okay, great. Is there any information that we should update based on this? And it says, yes. Oh, look at that. They have a proposal and proposal sent. Great. That means that we got that email back. We should move it to decision pending. It would automatically do that for me. Again, that's about 70% done. The problem with that is that when you have projects, ongoing, and then deals all for the same client, without inference, which I haven't actually put a lot of inference in. A lot of this stuff is deterministic. Without throwing that in there a little bit, and if I did that, I'd have to use the API, which I haven't fucked with yet. I mean, I have fucked with it, but I haven't added it in here because I was trying to be cheap. I guess technically I might not have to use API, but anyway, that's a little bit of an issue, just because it has to infer. Like if you got an email from client XYZ and you have an ongoing relationship with them with a retainer or whatever, you have a project that you're working on with them, and you're trying to sell them something, or any combination of any two of those, then it's hard to know deterministically, like kind of which bucket to update. So that's a little bit of a I wouldn't call it a bug, but it's a logical bug. You know what I mean? It's not like a syntax bug. It's something that I need to work out there. But that's the long and short of that. That's kind of how that flows. So then they decision pending, and that comes through, and we do all that. And then if they say yes, then I mean, for smaller deals and stuff, like, and especially, clients that I've already had, honestly, like I could go deeper into the contract lane, but I haven't really, because I over indexed so heavily on that for so long. I made like all these contracts and PandaDoc and all this bullshit, and it just didn't need to happen way back in the day. So I've really not like gone crazy with that. I pretty much just like, I tell this story. When I sold the 9,000 thing last month, I did this whole process. I had a chat, It was remote controlled on my phone. I sold that in person. I went to their office. I gave them a whole presentation about the prototype. I came out of the office. I took my phone out. When they said yes, I took my phone out and I said, when I left, I did the Alex Hormozy line as I left. It's like, how do we pay, how do we pay you and everything? It's like, I have your card in Stripe. You want me to just build the card on file? Like, yeah, sure. And I was like, okay, great. So I left the office. I went on my phone to that chat. I said, hey, listen, they said yes, because right above it is literally like the proposal piece, right? And like this little, a handout thing that I put together to give to them. And I'm like, okay, hey, listen, you knew the meeting was happening. I just had the meeting. They said yes. What I want you to do now, I want you to set up a product in Stripe for $9.5K. I want you to set up a subscription for 149, whatever. And I want you to bill those to the card on file. And then money time. Didn't have to go do the shit myself. Didn't have to do any of that. I just told her what to do. And unlike everyone else on YouTube, I'm going to tell you that it's not like that. It's actually like do a little bit of work up front, because I don't think any of these tools, I'm not going to say that, but I don't know if any of the tools are ever going to really like be good enough to like do a bunch of shit for you without you doing some level of upfront work. Like obviously you at least need to connect the shit, log in. That's a definite. But there's so many like little weird nuances that I'm not saying build your own AIOS, but like understand where the shit is, what's connected to it, what it has the ability to do. Be careful with MCP, because sometimes it doesn't have nearly as much shit as you think it does, that like an API would. And if you're being serious about your business and doing a bunch of different shit, like, or trying to build this for other businesses, make it actually useful. Like really, I don't want to deviate too deeply here, but like realistically, like if you really think about this, you have to almost go almost all in with whatever answer you have here, because like why would I want to do this and still have to go to all of those other fucking platforms that I've replaced? Like if I kept Notion, if I kept Senja, if I kept like QuickBooks, if I kept all those other things, I am not really helping myself. If I kept closed CRM, like obviously it makes no sense. Like where is the value in this if you still have all those other things? Like I just think that like, yeah, you could do that. You could link up all the MCPs from all those services and just have a fucking chatbot that does it all. That's probably what the layperson will do, and that's fine. Do your thing. I just think that like we get into all these other conversations about like having your data and trying to keep it. And again, like at the end of the day, like, I tell Christian, he's talking about Victor and stuff here recently. Like Victor's just one of them, and I'm not picking on it, but like they're making a product and good on them. But like, where's my fucking context, bro? Like, can I export all this in like a usable format? Maybe I can, but like I can't use it in any other way that I'd want. This is why months ago I made the personal context video. And I was like ahead of myself in the thought process, and like nobody watched it. Okay. This video right here, like my entire life, I put my entire life like into like I had ChatGPT interview me, and I'm a psycho, and I'll do that. But like, so you don't have to, it's not, it's not like a normal behavior, but like I put my whole life into this so I could have the context of what I do, who I am, all that stuff. And the angle was like why your outputs are trash and whatever. But like it literally is kind of that simple. Like people tell me that like it doesn't have access to things, or it doesn't need to have access to, like, bro, you need to give it access. Like it's more risk, or it's more whatever, that's fine. But like if you want it to know what to do and you want better outputs, I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I don't believe there's a different way. The more information you can give it, and again, you're not like putting it all in your fucking Claude memory. You're putting it in your computer and it has access to it. It's still running up there, whatever. If you hate that, maybe you go local or something. But I get that pushback. But I'm just saying that like don't complain about the fact that it's giving bad outputs or it's not good or whatever when you're not giving it what it needs. Like that is no different than you having an employee, a junior developer sitting next to you or whatever, and saying, hey, build this fucking thing. And it's like, well, I have like a million questions for you and you're not answering them. It's like, well, I don't give a fuck. Just build it. Build it exactly how I fucking see it in my mind, and I'm not going to tell you. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. Is there anything Let me go back over here real quick. Did this work? Edge propagation. Okay, so it says turn off this. This is a quick callback from all this here. This didn't obviously take this long. Let me go. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm going to pull this out over here for a second. This is one of those templates that we had here. Let me go here. Real quick, I'm going to turn this other thing to a draft. And I'm going to pause. So I'm going to pause my workflow. So now officially, I am not using any workflows via here. Maybe we do a test and pray to God that doesn't break. Oop, that's not the right field. Mark. Let's just go test maybe, so I can delete this later. I'm implementing AI in my business. So that right there didn't technically change. Like nothing really about that changed. That information shot off to Bento. Oh, fuck. That is fast. Ew. Hang on a second. I'm looking at my phone real quick just so I can verify, and then I'll show you. Just so you kind of have a vibe. Yeah, that worked perfectly. That's amazing. I fucking love shit like this. Okay. Let me go to my face real quick so I can set this up on my end, and then I'll just show you what happened. But what happened was went to Bento. I'm not going to show you that because that didn't change. It went to Bento, and that was that. And then it hit Postmark. It created 2 emails, like a notification for me, and then a note, like a delivery message, right? Like that gave it the thing to the client or to the to the lead or whatever. So right here, I'll show you. Where's this at? This is the email that I got. Doesn't need to be crazy or anything like that. Just says new download, test did this, da da da. They're saying da da da, whatever. No action needed. Cool, great, awesome, cool, whatever. I don't even need to get that email. I just like to see occasionally, like when the shit happens, I might turn that off. I had that coming as a BCC before, which was silly and unnecessary. So then there's that. And then I think there is another one here. This was my mode of 11 email with a lead in this case. It says your personal, this is what the lead would get. Hey, test. Thanks for watching my video, da da da, whatever. You click this link, you download the shit. And yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Important note, if you fucking care, these 2 emails were not built in Bento, obviously, because not using that anymore. They weren't built in like some sort of UI thing, drag and drop shit. I didn't have to type these. These literally live. They don't even live in an email marketing or an email creation platform. They live in the code. Like it's just HTML with like logos and stuff. I orchestrated this whole thing back and forth or whatever. That image and those logos live on my CDN. Right back in the day, remember back in the day when you had an image, like a signature generator, okay, and you had to figure out a place to put those links for images if you wanted it. You had to make sure that they were in a live place. They're in a CDN. They're just up on mybunny.net CDN. So they're served from there. That's where those come from. Links out to social, whatever. And this is a transactional email, so it literally just comes from notifications at markszymanski.co. I have a staunch belief that probably goes against people. I don't think you should use. I see so many people using subdomains for marketing emails. I'm all for that. Like, so, because like if you send marketing emails to people like an asshole and they start saying spam, you're going to fuck up your domain reputation. So I never send marketing like unsolicited or emails that like could be seen as unsolicited from markszymanski.co as an example. I send it from like newsletter.markszymanski.co or something like that. I see a lot of people not doing that, which is remarkable, but that's what I do. But for transactional email, like something where you asked for something, I gave it to you like this, I don't see a problem with sending from a non subdomain, because the only time you're ever going to see that is when you asked for it. And if you mark that as spam, you're a piece of shit, but that's a different story and it's not going to happen that often. So that's one little tidbit there. You can see that's coming from like, this is all set up via the DNS or whatever, but like Postmark there. Cool, good. Make sure you got your DKIM, your fucking, DMARC and all your shit set up. But literally, when I set up Postmark, I should have filmed it. But when I set up Postmark the other day, I gave it an account key, and it's able to create server things. They're really folders, but it's able to create servers for me. Server is a really bad word for that. All that is like a folder, or like the channel at which like each, like domain or whatever like goes through for like, markszymanski.co, Motive 11, like whatever. But it's able to create all those things for me, like little project things. It's able to set up everything because I gave it access to my DNS, and my DNS is at Cloudflare. I gave it access to the DNS. I gave it access to Postmark. It's able to do all of it and set it all up and put DNS records in. I never have to really care about that. Like, obviously I'm vetting it, I'm looking at what's going on, but I don't have to give a shit about it or click to all these different fucking websites anymore. It's fantastic. Yeah. And again, just last thing I was saying, like, this is not in anywhere. This is just in the code. It's like, here's the email that gets sent when you do this. And there's 7 of these now, I guess. Maybe it didn't put that 7th one on yet, but each one has their own thing, and it just sends it. And then you download it and you're happy, and you can go do the other stuff because you like what I'm doing and you want to learn more. Yeah. And that's that. So that's fantastic. Did it do the last one? I don't know. It did not, looks like. Let's go back over here and ask it real quick. Okay, yeah, I did a real browser test on that. That worked. Looks like they're all coming from Postmark now. I turned off the Bento thing, so that's fantastic. Did we not finish the design director one? Yeah, magnet coded in the right. If we're all good with that, if you want to, host it like we normally do, here's what I want you to do. I'm just going to let you run. I want you to host it just like we normally do in the same place on buddy.net, all that sort of stuff. And I want you to I want you to do that. I want you to add it on like have its own resource page and all that sort of stuff. There's no video associated with it yet. I haven't made one, so just forget about that. And yeah, get it popping. So I expect to see a new resource on the site with a page, with the form and everything appropriately working. You can write the email to the general, style that all the other ones are. And yeah, just make sure everything's wired up with a new Bento, I guess, event and tag or however. And then when we're done with this, I want you to do 2 things. I'm still live streaming and I'm kind of showing this. So if you can, don't show me the link to the download link. That would be great. I don't really give a fuck. These guys are nice, but try not to show me that. And in the chat. And the other thing I want to do, okay, is because this is the next thing that we should do. This is all the first time that we're kind of doing this, right? I want to be able, the next time I have a resource, to help me like extract it or package it and then go through all these steps, which is easier now because it's like we're creating a resource page. We might be attaching a tool or something, or a tool or, other things or whatever, maybe like a video or whatever. And then we're also, we'd also be, setting up like the appropriate, like, Bento stuff, but we don't have to fuck with the flows anymore. So we're just setting up like the appropriate actions from Bento and Postmark. All this stuff is really standardized. I know there's just a couple different like variables in there. So if we need to create, I guess in our case now, a pipeline, which I don't think we have set up yet. I guess we could call it publish resource or publish resources, publish resource, I guess maybe we can call it or something. Let's work on that. And then I go do something else. Chat. The problem with that is the other person needs to say say yes to get recorded. Yeah. I mean, in Google, it kind of like tells you that they're being recorded. I'm not really recording. The other thing is I'm not really recording I think everyone, okay, so this is a good point. Yes, I would probably not recommend recording like calls necessarily and shit unless it says like, hey, this is being recorded or da da da. But a couple things there. First of all, that's a state law, so make sure you know your state laws. Second thing is I don't give a fuck what they look like or their video or even their voice. I don't care about any of that. I care about the words. So I think it's pretty normalized now to have a note taker jump in a meeting when you have a meeting. It is extremely inefficient to try to write down and remember everything that was said in the meeting. It actually takes away from like you being a part of the fucking conversation. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. If it's something you really want to do that. But I don't do that anymore. I don't write notes necessarily. I write notes to ask questions. Like if they're talking, I write down like, oh, what about this? And then I ask the question and then I get that. The key is the text. Okay. Make sure every single time you go into a meeting, the notes thing is on, okay? And it says it at the top, and it'll say, or if you have like a Calendly note taker or granola, I don't know why the fuck people pay for that shit, but it's on them, whatever. Maybe it does some crazy other shit in the back end. I don't need it, but it's fine. All it does is it like with Google and even probably Zoom at this point, like it just stores that somewhere, like in your Google Drive or whatever, and then you have the whole transcript. I don't care what they like, how they're talking. I don't care what they look like. I only care about the words. And I think 99% of people are okay with you doing that because unless it's a purely confidential meeting, obviously, but like they want you, think about this, they want you to provide the best possible help and proposal or whatever in the response to that meeting. So that's only going to help both of you. If you really care about it, announce that you are taking notes like automatically. But that's kind of what I mean. So why I mean, I don't know if it's fully dead. I think there's some things that I can't really replace, nor do I want to replace. Like, again, while this works, like Auphonic might be able to replace that, but they put a lot of work into like making that really good. That's like a voice or like a audio generation, audio AI optimization thing. So am I going to stand up my entire own email marketing platform with deliverability and all that shit? Probably not. Am I going to stand on my own CDN? Probably not. Calendly. Oh, Calendly's on the fucking chopping block for sure. But it's still like not that big of a deal. Like I spend $24 a month on Calendly because I have 2 subscriptions. I hate that, but I have to do it like that because I don't want to, I want to have one for Motive 11 stuff and Szymanski Media stuff. Calendly is absolutely on the chopping block, but Calendly is the best. Like it's literally the best. It's the most feature rich. It has like niche things that I've needed many times and whatever. So maybe, but the problem is with Calendly, real quick case study on this, because this is a good question to ask, is Calendly is one of those ones where I'm not paying that much money for it. And I also use a lot of it. Like it's not like QuickBooks where like they made this huge monolith fucking mega app thing and I only use 5% of it. And it doesn't make any sense. Like Calendly, I use all of it. I use multiple different, well, I actually don't use all of it, but I use a good bit of it. I'd probably use like 70% of the features, or I've needed 70% of the features. So when you're thinking about replacing something, if you're being objective and you don't just want to fuck around and do it, if you want to fuck around and do it, I would advise that you play around and do it if you have the time and you're not like shirking your other responsibilities, but you also do whatever you want. So from my perspective, like I haven't felt the need to do that yet. That's kind of what I'd say. Circle, the problem with the community apps is the discovery. Like I kind of think every day that I should have went to school instead, because the discovery and like that's where all like the kids are, the cool kids. And it's like, I don't know. I think that the problem there is that like people don't want to go to Circle if they're already on school. But the audience that I polled when I did that was all like WordPress people that were part of like, Kevin's Inner Circle and other Circle communities rather than the school gang. So Circle is a way better platform, just to be completely candid with you. But fucking school is like where all the rage is. ClickUp, I don't fuck with ClickUp. I hate ClickUp. The only reason I have it is because one of my clients is in there and that's where we DM. So, which is amazing because again, like now I'm in their platform and I have context of the things that they're kind of doing. That's genius. Yeah, we don't need to go through the whole list if you don't want to, but DeepGram is like an API for transcription that I use sometimes. Honestly, I don't really use it that much because Whisper is fine. Not Whisper Flow, but Whisper. Yeah, and just the rest of them, like, I'm just trying to explain the SaaS thing. It's like there's not a lot here, but like there's some things that I'm not going to rebuild. Like a lot of the stuff is not what I'm going to rebuild. But yeah, I do agree that like SaaS in the traditional sense is kind of fucked in some ways. Why do I not use the Claude app? I'm going to use the Claude app on my phone, but I use it for the remote control feature, which is an absolute godsend. I would highly recommend that you use that, so you can continue your shit wherever you're at. Let me see. Let me see here. I don't use co-work, that's for sure. I know you can't see this. Let me just go look at the code app thing in a second. Do I have all this? These persist over to here, don't they? Pretty sure they do. Why do I need to sign in again? I don't know. I mean, really, it's just more shit like that I just ran into. Like, it made me sign in to verify my device, and it's kind of annoying. I mean, I'm sure you can see your file tree somewhere, sometime. I don't know. I don't know why I don't use it. I just like seeing this. It's kind of my best example that I can give you right now, or my best reasoning. Look at that. Look at that. Well, that's not the new one, but where's the new one? There you go. There you have it, folks. Didn't even have to do anything. It's just on there. You can go get it if you want, or it'll be in the. Well, let's do that too. Fuck, whatever. All right, hang on. Hell, hold on to your hats, boys. Hang on. I'll give you all the sauce here. Here we go. Okay, so that's amazing. Yeah, publish resource, cool. All right, we'll continue to iterate that over time. Awesome. Looks like it's working there. I'm not even going to test it, but it seems like it worked. Here's what I want you to do. What I want you to do is, I think we already talked about this, but like, so the way we handle this, also in the publish resource thing, I don't know if we talked about this yet. I'm not seeing it in here. One of the other things, yeah. Okay, so add an MBS vault post, right? That needs to be by default. That's going to be in our flow. So make sure you add this to the flow. But this is what we're going to do. I want you to draft like a simple post. It's not going to be like the exact same. Like, it could be like a little bit more detailed or something. Probably should have like an image in some cases. I don't know exactly. We're gonna have to play with this a little bit, but yes, I want you to, after you like upload it to the website, and like, non-payers can get it via what's it called, via email opt-in. I need to upload it to Modern Motor Society, so everyone there gets it for free or included in their subscription. So I need to do that. What was I gonna say? Just draft the fucking thing. Just draft the thing, and yeah, there's some other ones in there. You can go look at them and draft it. Okay, so what's gonna happen now is, if you're not in the community, you should be in the community, but I get it. What's gonna happen now is I'm gonna go over to Circle in a second. And I'm gonna show you the draft post that it makes inside of Circle, using the backdoor V1 API. Because I'm not on the plan to get the V2 API. But when you do that, when you go over there, or when we go over there, you're going to see it. And then it's just like, again, it's sitting in like the resource library, which the resource library largely kind of like mimics what we have here. On the front end, it's just like you get it completely included. And there's a bunch of other, obviously, discussion, the discount on the consulting calls. There's the bi-weekly meetings, bi-weekly office hours, where we're like literally in a Zoom call. It's not Zoom, but it's in that type of thing where we can all see each other and talk. So yeah. And more fun things to come, because I really need to put together. I'm doing a lot of like really interesting things, like one-offs here, but like I need to do something where I'm like showing, and I have some like in the community. In the community, I have 2 videos right now showing, or not yet, but they're drafted. I filmed them where like I'm building those websites that we talked about, right? If you're like, that's the only like the line in the sand is like, if you're in the community, like I kind of just need to show you exactly what's going on, right? So, publicly out here, I feel like it's a little bit more of a weird, weird ethical thing to show exactly the clients that I just told you how much money they spent, all that sort of shit. You know, I don't know. Will it stay like that? I'm not sure, but yeah. All right, so that's ripping. Let's see. We talked about the proposal already, and we did all that. I do want to show you that skill though. So you can go grab it if you want, because I'm not going to be. I would make like a video on it, but I'll show you the thing. How can I show you that? Well, I'm not going to show you the skill. I'll just show you the output. Let me see if I can get the output up really quick. Where's it at? Was it in this? I think it was literally in this. Let me find it here for you. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? I had it up at one point, actually. It's still up. Get rid of Bento. Get rid of that. I can show you some other cool shit that I did yesterday as well. Hang on a second. Let me move some things around. Just stay with me. Is it copper? What the fuck? What is the goddamn link to this, dude? Gallery. Where did it put this? Where did it put this? I could ask it, but I wish I still had it up. It's annoying. Where's the local file? Where is it? I'm just gonna ask it when this is done. Can you tell me the if the output of our reference is still local, which I don't know if it is? Can you give me the local file? If not, can you download it and make it local real quick? I just need the HTML thing. I just want to show what the example looks like. You can put it kind of wherever we need to just now, like the from that copper line or whatever one we gave. I just want to show like literally what the skill does. I don't need the skill. And I'd like it to be local. Yeah. All right. We'll see what's going on there. I bet it's 100%. I bet it's 100% not okay. You Americans may have it easier when it comes to this. Yeah, I mean, well, I guess just ask them. I don't know. Are you allowed to ask them? Like, just ask them then. Be like, hey, you want to role play? Okay. Hey, how you doing? Listen, I'm gonna level with you. If you let me record the transcript of this meeting, not your face or the things you're saying, if you just let me record the transcript of this meeting, I'm going to be able to be way more present during this meeting. And I'm going to be able to ask you way better questions because I'm not going to have to take notes on everything. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to take that transcript and I'm going to push it into my AI of choice. I don't know how you handle that, but like I'm going to use AI to synthesize that better. So then I can give you a better proposal that actually aligns with what you want. Make sure that we tick all the boxes with what you're trying to do just to save ourselves a lot more time. Does that sound okay with you? If they don't say yes to that, then end the fucking meeting. I don't know what to tell you. Do the 100 run slip, 100 Claude, 100 Codex. You have so much tokens, and yeah, I haven't really. I tried Codex one time when Claude was down, and I wasn't really impressed with it. But I haven't tried 5.6 Sol. My current thought process on this is that this is not broken, so I'm not going to fix it because I'm currently using, I know you can't see it yet. I'm fixing something else. I'm getting this stuff set up. Opus 4.8 on max effort with thinking mode on, which I don't know if that matters, but I've got 5% weekly used and 6% session used. And when I used Fable a little bit and it blew up my session history and just like, it didn't blow it up, but like it just inflated it. I'm not personally interested heavily. I've never been interested in like model chasing or like, that's just not the content that I've created. And I don't think it's productive for business. Like the only way, in my opinion, that you get like a lot of benefit from doing that is if you are Nick Sarayev, Jack Roberts, Alex Finn, all big dogs. Okay, I've had one of those on my podcast. Try to get the rest of them on FBP. But if you're those guys, Theo, if you're those guys and you want to talk about that shit ad nauseum, then God bless. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm not saying they're not better. Like, if that's your experience, use the fucking thing that's good. But I just this works and I like the experience. So it's gonna take something to like push me to go use Soul. I've also heard some. I mean, you hear horror stories about everything, but I've also heard a couple recently about Soul. And I just never liked the Chat GPT. Like, I've tried Codex a couple times. I tried it the one time legitimately with the AIOS, but I've tried it before. Just don't really like it. But that's a me thing. That's not a recommendation. Where the fuck is that at? Oh, okay. Hang on a second. Let me open this for you. So what I'm going to open for you is this is the thing that I just created and just put on my website, the skill, and it I just put the skill on there, and dude, where the hell is this shit? There we go. Yeah, I just put the skill on there. Okay. So if you go right now to my website and you click the resources and you click download, or if you're in the community in 5 minutes when I post this live on the thing, you will be able to see this and access this. Okay. Not going to access, well, you'll access the example that I'm going to show you, but you're also going to access the skill to make it happen. Okay. Or get you like most of the way there. I would not recommend, side note real quick before I get in there, I would not recommend that you just take skills off of people and just use them as if they're like God. Okay. I should probably make that disclaimer clearer with the stuff that I do, but like the skill is to get you started or to get you in a direction. If you just use everyone else's skills, you are going to have a fucking terrible time because it's not going to be tuned to what you need to do. It might be similar. You might make websites like the other people, but like it's not going to be tuned. What I would do is I would say, hey, Claude, there's this skill. I got it off this guy, this random fucking dude on the internet. Okay. That wears Adidas shirts and is, makes videos in dark room. I don't really know if I trust him. Can you like tell me about this skill? Tell me what it is, maybe do an example output. And then can we talk about like how this could actually work in my business, like for who I serve and stuff like that? And then we can edit it and we could just like say thanks for the skill, but like I don't need it exactly as it was. I'll just make my own, like I'll basically duplicate it essentially and and tweak it from there. That is how I would use this shit. Okay. So free advice. Okay, where are we? We are right here. And let me refresh something real quick because I'm going to open up the draft. There we go. Okay. Where did it link the zip? I don't think it linked the zip. Oh, I see why. Okay. Let me find this zip real quick. Sincerely, you can't attach file. Da, da, da. Oh, I don't even. Okay, yeah, I don't even use the. I don't even use the thing. Optionally dropped in the. Where's it at? Where is it at? Let me just make sure I know where this file is, because then I'm going to attach it and we're going to work on. We're going to show you exactly what's going on. Is the design directions thing in my fucking thing here? Where's it at? Okay, where's it at, dude? Where is that zip file at? Yeah, I will manually upload it to the post. Okay. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so this is what we got. Let me attach this file and then we're good to go here. Downloads, design directions, skill zip, bang, cool. Love to see it. You love to see it. All right, here we go. All right, so this is we're ripping through here. All right, let me go right here. Cool. That's great, whatever. All right, here we go. Okay, so what happened was told it to do that MBS Vault, the post. I'm going to show you that in a second, and I'm also going to show you what it does. So I'll show the post first, okay? So if you're in the community right now, okay, then you could go, as soon as I click post on this, you can go in here and you'll see it in the vault, right? So it's in the resource vault. This is Circle, okay? Claude skill for design, design directions. It built this thing. Turn one set of copy into 6 total pages. Instead of all this skill file, picker generator, complete example. Grab it, zip it, whatever. Right? I did this. Okay, I orchestrated this. I tweaked it. I made it what you're about to see in a second, and then I extracted the skill from the file, from the projects and stuff, in the context that I did, the prototyping and all that, and then I made it a skill so you could hopefully get somewhere close to that with the appropriate input. And again, don't use it to just use your own shit. You fucking make it better. Okay, that's what a skill is really for when you grab it off somebody on the internet. So I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna say publish. I don't know what's gonna happen when I click this publish button. So I'm gonna go back to my face for a second. Good thing, because I went to all the things. And yeah, here it is. Look at this. So it's in the community. If you're in the community, go get it right now. It's for the price of whatever your subscription is, 39 something, whatever. Or go join the community and get it. Or go to my website and put your damn email in here, okay? And get it delivered to your email, and you can download it. Okay, cool. All right, so what is it though? Just out of curiosity, if you're wondering. Well, I was in the middle of building those websites, and I thought, look, this is literally what I did. I'll tell you exactly what happened. Okay. I got those websites. Okay. They paid me the money, and I was like, I want to start on these. Okay. So I set up like the AIOS, and I'm in the AIOS. All right. I'm in here. I'm like, here, I'll show you. Hey, I just got these 2 websites. You already have some of the context from them. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to their current websites, because those are the websites that I manage right now. I want you to use httrack, which is just one of the tools to download like literally every single page of the source code from a website. It's really great, but there's probably other ones. I just learned it from Claude 2 months ago. So download it and save them in the context, so we have all the context, and it's a very readable way. We're not like scraping the website every single fucking 5 minutes. So we get all the context from the current websites. We get all the context from the Google Drives that they shared, the folders that they shared, and we're gonna kind of like just, I want you to know where that's at, and put it in context appropriately in their client folders, so that when we go to start building this, we have all of that sort of stuff. The proposal and everything like that. Obviously, that's already in the context. What we're building. How what we're going to build it with. We're going to use, this is the part that everyone fucking never says in the YouTube videos, by the way. Nobody ever fucking says how they're going to build it. Like, they don't say if they're, well, they do, they skim the fuck over. It's unbelievable. They never say the technology they're going to use. They don't give a fuck about like Astro. A lot of them just throw everything in Next.js, which God bless you, whatever you want to do. But like, we're going to use Astro. We're going to use Tailwind because I don't care. And then we're going to use, we're going to ultimately put this up on Cloudflare pages, and we're going to make sure we use turnstile and all that sort of stuff. And again, I've done this a couple times, so this is also kind of in a skill and a pipeline to like stand up like a web app. I'm still working on this because there's a lot of parts in here. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of like performance and all this other shit in here, and this design direction thing is now in there. But ultimately, that's what's happening in there. So we're going to do all of our normal stuff. This is going to be a brochure website. So our stack for that is Astro and Cloudflare pages. And yeah, so go ahead and do all that, and just let it rip. And honestly, you can stand them both up, and we can just start working on it. That's literally what I did. Okay, I did that. I think I started a chat, and I might have did that from my phone, or I remote controlled and was looking at it. I remember I was out to eat, and I was like, okay, cool. And then it said it was all done. It was deployed on pages.dev links. And I went to my phone, I clicked on them, and I had 2 websites basically completely done for me right out of the gate. Are they completely done in the sense of they're ready to production? No. But are they done in the sense of like I had something in, I'll be generous and say an hour, because it didn't take that long. Yes. And was it on brand? Did it have all of like the colors and the logos and everything? Yes. In this case, yeah, because they gave me a lot of context. It had images that they gave me from the Google Drive folder and everything like that. It also had all of their older colors and context and logos, because I literally downloaded the entire website that I was already managing. But if you weren't managing it, you could just download the website that they have there. And if they have nothing, then they have nothing, and you have to fucking do extra work. But that is what it is. But you could still automate a lot of it. If they have anything, you can use it. Get it from either your local, like download it to your local machine and point your fucking thing at it and say, hey, all the files are here, go get it. Or If it's on a SaaS somewhere, go and you're connected to it, then go do it there. So that's what I did. I had 2 websites done right away. And I was like, this is amazing. This is literally amazing that I'm already this far in, an hour and I'm eating or whatever at that point. So then that was great. So then there was a problem though, because that was my first time doing first time doing 2 websites at once. Maybe not the first time ever, but doing it like that. So that was kind of a little weird, getting them at the same time and talking to the same kind of client. So I was like, all right, well, there's a couple problems. One, these people are not I know these people are a little more not technical, but design oriented, and they're not going to just be happy with this one example that I gave them. Even though they did give me some design direction in the meeting, and I was like, and I folded that in, but they're not going to be happy with this. So then I was like, let me think of something different. Let me give them some options. Okay. And I came up with this concept where I was like, give me 6 ideas. Okay. Generate 6 different types of homepage with the same brand and the same branding. The fonts, obviously might change and stuff like that if they're not hard pressed on those. But, basically you want to show your client 6 things that they could look at and be like, fuck, could we envision ourselves having this website? What do you think? Don't worry about if this shit is not perfect. Okay. That's not the point. Just tell them, look at this. Okay. And be like, hey, could you envision yourself having this website? Does this speak to you at all? And listen, I need you to refrain from saying do you like this? That's not the point. Please stop thinking like that. It's would your client feel proud of this? This is not what the website's going to look like at the end. Okay. All you're doing here is just giving them a visual way, because I'm not a designer. Maybe there's a better way. Designers, tell me. Maybe they like this, but they hate this button style. And then they hate these things down here. You're going to have to deal with that. Okay. You're going to have to, it's not this is why I don't really like building websites in some ways, because it's so goddamn subjective. And people think that they're doing cute shit, and it's just fucking stupid when you let them do it. So you can change your mind on that, or do whatever you want or don't want on that. Give them as much leeway or whatever as you want. But the point is, it's not you have to say this. I literally got them on a call. Okay. I actually sent this to them. I'm like, hey, listen, very important that when you look at these are not done. These are not close to being done. They don't have perfect content in them. That's not what I'm showing you. What I'm showing you is these are 6, or maybe you can make 10 or whatever, different ways of seeing a website, different types of feel, vibes, whatever that I created quickly for you. But again, in code, by the way, it's not in a design tool. Okay. So you can just start ripping as soon as they pick one, or if they pick certain bits of different ones or whatever, you can, this effect, by the way, was a little hard to get perfect. So I put in some time for that. So hopefully yours is nice as well. I just thought it was a nice touch. But yeah, so that's how the way the file works, by the way, is this is it's technically a 7-page little HTML website. This is one page, is the index. And then each one of these is just a little thing that lives inside that directory. But that's what I do. That's what I did. And they loved it. They fucking loved it. They were like, oh, that's cool. There's different kinds. I also want to say that, James asked me about this. Do I remember exactly what I put to get this prompt? It was legitimately probably give me 6 websites. Give me 6 home pages. It's not the whole website. It's just the home page, by the way. You could do the whole website if you want, but give me 6 of these. The other thing that I didn't do that I'll have to do on the next website is I didn't actually create a good style guide. It does a pretty good job of staying in the lines. It's not it's making random fucking rainbow buttons on every page, but I should probably do that a little bit more. That would increase the process and a little bit of the value a little bit. It's not entirely crazily necessary. And obviously some of the shit kind of sucks. Is that really what that button looks like? I don't know. Is that really what that one button looked like? Yeah, it's terrible. But the point is, that's not the point. The point is that it's not gonna be perfect. Okay. And you could prompt it to make it look different. You're not really gonna use these. What I did next, let me just tell you what I did next. They were like, all right, for this one, we like 2, for the other one, we like 6. Okay, say less. Go back into the chat and say, hey, they like 2. All right. So what we need to do is we need to take 2 and we need to bring that into our Astro project, because these are just little HTML files. We need to bring these into our Astro project. I did this the wrong way, by the way, mind you. Okay. I started the project and then I had to go back and overwrite the Astro project that I had already deployed with this shit. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Do this first. Do this first. And then just say, hey, listen, they picked number 2 with maybe some elements, some other stuff. Make sure you note that. It's in the transcript, I don't know, whatever. Try to, when you're having that conversation too, be like, okay, we like the, you know, the featured work section in 4. You like that vibe? Cool. Okay, we'll bring that in. You like the you like this how it goes section from 3? Cool. We'll bring that in. Oh, you like these? Okay, cool. Like that's what you need to note. Okay. Because you're not gonna be able to like, I mean, I guess you could technically probably record that meeting and then visually show that, but I wouldn't, that'd be too hard. So just try to take really good notes on that part if you do go that deep. But then, you know, basically you say, okay, we have all these design directions. We like 2 as our base. We want to add some different things. And then from there, you are literally going to have to just iterate. Okay. And that's what's going to happen. There's no 2 ways about it. The other thing I'll say to you is, what I did was I had a couple calls, and I like this now because like I'm able to have conversations with them. And it's like way easier because I'm not completely dreading the idea of going back to the drawing board and dicking around with like WordPress when I'm done. So I just know that like I'm going to take the transcript and I'm going to add some consultative to it, like some consulting afterwards, and I'm going to continue to agentically like create. So the one other thing I'll say, the one other big thing I've learned just in these first projects here is, again, this has taken less than 3 weeks. Could have taken even faster, but like I don't know how many meetings I should have per week with people. I've just kind of like had like a 1 week cadence because I have other stuff going on. There was another thing though that I this isn't new, but I never done it specifically. I was like, wait a second. Let's imagine that like we get rid of all these. Let's imagine this is the one we went with, okay? And we've got to this point and they're pretty happy with this to a degree, but there's still more things that like maybe they need to change stuff. Because what's going to happen, like I'm creating my own process here. I'm not saying it's the best, but like I think for agentic stuff, like there's probably a better way to handle the beginning part. But like for smaller websites like this, bro, like listen, I deal with companies that are charging $50,000-$100,000 for websites. The reason they're able to charge for that is partially maybe because they have a team, but more so because of their process, because they're like super in depth. They have all these steps. I am not there. I don't really even feel like I want to get there because I'm going to be honest with you. I hold a strong belief that brochure websites are really not supposed to cost that much money. That's a current belief. It might change, but like, I don't think that's really even where, for some business, I'm not saying if you can't get that bag, don't get it, but like, I don't believe that like brochure websites inherently should cost that much. There is the other stuff that I'm doing is moves the needle so much more for people than the actual website does. Because even if you extrapolate it out to like, Mark, what about like lead gen? It's like, bro, the website typically is like a reputation piece, which is important, but it's not like the lead gen tool. Like, especially now, it's like, the website is a build. The lead gen is the SEO, or it's the paid ads, or it's whatever else. It's not like, I think there's a new model that could emerge where, and I wanted to do it in a couple different ways, but I think there's a new model that could emerge where like you can do shit so fast now that you could basically just charge one recurring fee. And it's like, okay, we're going to stand you up a website and we're going to constantly be iterating on it because it's just too easy to iterate. But the problem is like, you can't do that entirely because you still need to go slow enough to see if your changes are actually manifesting into like positive ROI. But anyway, I'm getting off track a little bit, but that's what I'm thinking there. With this thing, the one other thing that I was going to say that I learned and I implemented here, and I could probably put it somewhere, but I didn't do it yet. I can make it like open source. There's a little feedback button that I decided. Have you ever seen like maybe like Adarim kind of has it, or like there's like markup.io or some bullshit, or I don't know what the fuck. It's not exactly like that. This is like way simpler. But let me go back to my thing here. So I put this post up. Where are we at here? I put this post up yesterday. And I was just kind of talking about like, have you ever had the need to get like feedback on it? It's like, well, I haven't. I know there's like a bunch of like random shit that I could do, but this is the one that, like, I put this feedback thing down here, and it's like, I just agentically coded this. Like, it's just like, that's a message. They can take a screenshot using the Chrome thing. They can upload an image or upload images if they want. They can record a voice memo. And I'm like, and they can send feedback. It's like, it's genius. Like, it's so simple. It's not a new thing. It's just like, wait a second, I can do that. No problem. And you either store that information in a database like Supabase or whatever, if you're already connected, or you just send it. Just send it over email as an attachment if you don't have to log it. It's super easy. It's super great. So that was the other thing. I should probably make that available, but I haven't yet. But it's just for the dev phase. I just have literally feedback down here on all 3 of those projects that I talked about. And the users are in there and they're messing around and they're just like, hey, okay, like not the users, because it's not launched yet. The clients on the website, like saying, hey, we should change this. And I mean, again, like it's a reinvention of the wheel, but it's so specific. And I don't know anybody that, records voice memos for that. So I don't know, just really cool little things that are just custom little stuff that literally, that one, I'm not exaggerating, took less than 15 minutes, so it's like, I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's really helpful. Clients love it. It's great. So that's that. So then you just build a website because you still have to continue to do stuff. And mostly it's feedback, the web app has been a little different. There's a lot of things in there that like I like web apps because like I get to control the user experience more. And because I know what is good and like what will make, like I know, like when they tell me their process, like I know inherently and instinctually like what's going to work well in a lot of cases. And yeah, so 999 maybe 10-20% left every week. Yeah, I can't remember what mine's normally at. A lot of different things. Yeah, the sub agents really fuck you. I just learned that this week. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of wild. Have we covered everything? It wasn't here. I was here. All right. Talked about this to a pretty good degree. Talked about the free resource. Dropped it. We did demos today, guys, like live demos. Behind the scenes, we talked about that. James's question, building a site. Oh, I didn't show you this, but I didn't dig it up either. Maybe we'll have to save this. Yeah, we're going to have to save that. So I'll tee that up, but I can't do it today. 2 months ago, I had an idea. Probably not the first person. No, it's not the first person to have this idea. We can have AI build sites. Obviously, we have good contextual processes, do all these things. I think websites are largely a lead magnet in some ways now, or they're like, kind of more entry level, like not entry level in the sense of they're a good conversation starter because they're visual. I wanted to create a flow. Maybe I have it actually. I wanted to create a flow. I did show this once. Prospect website build. It takes a long time though, so I'm not going to run it right now. But this is like, you literally, James was talking about this, like you go to like a website or like a business, like a Google My Business, and you just look at it and you're like, hey, like either this website sucks or they don't have one. It's easier if this website sucks. I'll tell you that honestly. But you just say, you point it at it, you maybe give it some context, say, hey, here's the website. Maybe here's some things that I know about the business if it's local or whatever. Go scour the internet, grab all the information. So like most of the information is accurate. And then look at comps, like look at other restaurants or dentist office or whatever in the area, and then build a version 1 full website that's simple that I can show to them as like a lead mag. Say, hey, I built you a website. I'd love to give it to you. Whatever. If you love this, we can just stand this up, or happy to talk about it, make changes. Whatever. I haven't gotten the sales part of that down yet because I see people on like social media walk into businesses and ask this shit. And it's like the websites look kind of meh. And then they're also dealing with like probably the worst possible demographic that you could, like, it's like literally I saw one in a nail salon, and kudos to this guy hustling. I can't remember his name, but like I see one in a nail salon. I see one in like a mechanic shop. I mean, he's walking into where the fucking cars are being worked on. He's asking this question. It's like, oh, and the other one, the other one, I gotta say this one real quick. I don't know if it was the same guy, but he was talking about, he tried to sell a fucking voice agent to a secretary. Like he told the secretary about the voice agent, about the voice receptionist. And I was like, what are you doing? I will say with this, I got to wrap up here because I'm starving. I'm going to text my wife, tell her to make me some food. Oh, making us lunch. What a wonderful wife I have. Thank you. I'm going to say almost done. Thank you. The one thing I haven't figured out yet that still needs to be a little bit done is when you deal directly with the owner, then it's easy to sell the more automation shit, obviously, because technically they should speak in numbers, you know, and ROI, and it's obvious that a lot of the shit could be cheaper than people. I'm not trying to have people fired either. I think there's probably a lot of things that they could just like ascend with, but that's the idea. The trouble is though, when you don't talk to the owner, when you're not talking to them, you have to be way more calculated because like technically like the web app thing that I'm building, it is gonna save a lot of time. And like because it's gonna save a lot of time, like they're either gonna need to do more and get more leads and do more stuff, or they're not going to need as many people. Now they don't have a lot of people in this case, but like I'm saying, like that's kind of the reality of the situation. So you really have to like now that I'm doing this, I got to remember who I'm talking to, and I got to talk in specific ways. Like if it's internal people, they got to be the champion of the thing, kind of like get it in their minds that that's the case. And if it's a an owner, you got to talk to him definitely, as you always had to, like more of an ROI conversation in a way. But yeah, so that's kind of that part there. I've kind of talked a little bit about this already, like kind of the websites are becoming like a little bit more of a, I feel like commodity. I think service and consulting. I mean, the reality is anybody could type in this fucking box right now, make me a website. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it's possible. That didn't exist before. If you think that doesn't exist, you are literally lying to yourself. And if you think that that's not going to have some sort of an effect on the future of the industry, you're also fucking lying to yourself. So I would just recommend that you do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Yeah, that's what I would recommend. Maybe consider that though. Yeah, pretty much showed everything that was new. Yeah, and yeah, and if you want more of this, Modern Builder Society. Plug. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got. I got to go eat some food. My wonderful wife is cooking that up for me. That's it. Had a really good month last month. Best ever. Need to compound because the realization that you have is the cool thing is that if you live in this type of system, however you build yours, or if you buy one or whatever, if you live in this type of system, it is easier to be like in the sales part and in the delivery part at the same time. It was always very hard for me to kind of like, I would sell some stuff, then I have to fucking waste all my energy building it, and then I wouldn't sell more shit. You have to be selling shit. Like it's literally like all these lessons that I learned in my 20s and kind of like brushed off or what, like speed and selling are actually really important. Not in the guru bullshit sense. It's like, I have a child. I have to put fucking, diapers on that kid. Like that's that in that sense. It's like, I just need to provide more value. So continue to share, continue to be transparent. Those are my goals. And just provide as much value as possible to these people, to you guys that want to learn and to the people that want to just pay for the shit. Cause I'm happy to do either because it's getting way easier, but also it is because of what I've done, what I've learned from other people, and what I've put together, and what I know that you could also put together if you gave a shit and you want to do it. And I believe in you. So I'm the one thing I will kind of like slightly apologize for is I need to do a better job at grabbing some of this stuff out and giving you guys head starts on some of the things because I you don't have to put in all the fucking work that I did, even though I still think it happened pretty fast. So I'll do more of that. I'll definitely do that in the community. Try to do a little bit of that today, obviously. But yeah. And if you want to get into Modern Builder Society, definitely use James's affiliate link. I don't know if you posted in the chat, but it doesn't post in the chat. But hit James up, get his affiliate link. James tweet it, do whatever the fuck. Yeah, and then get in Modern Builder Society. Yeah. Guys, listen, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for always tuning in, all the great engagement. Thank you so much. I will talk to you in the next one.